Welcome back, everybody, to Tabletop Notch. Tonight is episode 30.
Wow! Whoa!
Is this the first one of the new year?
Yes.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Episode 30 and
Episode 30. We have a guest tonight who will be joining us.
Hello!
Beezaura is out for the evening on a little Halfling mission of sorts.
Jaunt?
Yeah, a little jaunt through the insect tubes.
Oh, that's what Kruthiks are. They're insects.
Yeah, they're like big insects.
Okay.
Growing insects. Yeah. Great, so we're gonna hop into it after the intro. Anybody have any shout outs, anything you want to say?
No.
Happy New
I don't
Year.
think so.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that.
With that enthusiasm, let's roll that intro. Here we go.
Feelings, that's
Right.
All right.
We are.
We're back. We're in.
Here we are.
In chapter 29,
Yeah.
leave it how you found it.
Oh.
Saphira arose from an unconscious state to find the party quarreling over what to report back to Cedric Skentz, with concerns that our presence was being monitored by any possible combination of the Lemonade Man, Skentz's subordinates, or the mutated creatures that ambushed the Tackle Shack. We thought it prudent to exercise caution over how much detail to go into when presenting our findings. After some reflections on what to do in the event of a future near fatality, and rescuing our horses from some collateral damage that spilled out onto the road, we rode back to Mukmu. Taking advantage of our official writ of service, we breezed by the suspicious standing sergeant to report directly to Skentz, informing him of the attack on Marissa's residence, but omitting important revelations such as the existence of a secret basement. The director did not attempt to hide his concern and asked us to return tomorrow so the scribes could take down a written statement, but he thanked and dismissed us before vowing to investigate it further on his own. With the dangers of Mukmu lurking in the dark, sleeping at the lakeside inn seemed risky, so we planned to ask Yannick if we could spend the night somewhere in the graveyard. While the rest of the party got the horses and headed to the north gates, Erland accompanied Orba to the inn, briefly, so she could leave a note for Jillian Casivo with our supply requests. Before reuniting with the others, Orba broke the news to Erland about the ring that would be bound to his foot, as a prerequisite for her official employment. Despite his reservations, Erland agreed, though things were not coming together as swimmingly just outside of town.
Oh my god.
Gravekeeper Yannick expressed immense gratitude for all that we'd done for him. But with the excavations already underway, he didn't want anyone resting in the vicinity for safety reasons. Instead, he suggested that we reach out to Teo Hendry, the animal trainer who lives across the road. Having already been through quite an ordeal hours earlier with Saphira, Teo graciously allowed us to stay, and we closed our eyes to regain our strength after a taxing day. In the morning, for the first time in what seemed like forever, the five of us reconvened with Jillian in her makeshift war room that she'd assembled to prep us for our departure. After consulting extensively with her friend Kelsetra and her scouts, Jillian had learned that the harvesting yard in the Shocky Mountains boasted impressive magical defenses, leading her to believe it was hiding something nefarious in its depths. Discovering what might be concealed required getting there in the first place, and Jillian planned to enlist the help of 2 guides to bring us safely through the mountains, thus avoiding any main roads and the scrutiny of anyone transporting myconid products to and from Mukmu. A halfling named Cinnaberg would take Beezaura through a series of small tunnels to open up a gate in an abandoned mine, and the rest of us would follow the second guide, Wangami, through the mines as a way to stay hidden while we made our approach. As we mounted the horses and divvied up our new wealth of supplies, we wondered. How long would Saphira's detour to get her lost backpack take, given the possible presence of additional wasps? Would Beezaura's passage through the Kruthic tunnels be as simple as Cinnaberg made it seem? And would Erland be needing a new nickname now that the ratfuck of Ki'ira had brought his talents to Antisuyu?
Come on.
We find out now on Chapter 30 of A Peek Beneath the Veil. The wind has picked up on this cloudy morning. A back and forth hushing of the brush sends loose leaves scattering, some of them finding a home in the various folds of fluttering cloaks. Overhead, a pair of squirrels leap between the thin branches of trees packed just densely enough to make a reasonable catwalk for smaller critters to avoid the perils of the forest floor. For it is now that they sense the presence of a predator. Something thin but muscular, pushing impetuously past bushes and brambles, the corpse of its recent prey hanging limply at its waist as a trophy of its hunting prowess. Saphira curses low and under her breath as she attempts to retrace her steps through the area. More than once, the bow slung over her back catches on some leafy protuberance and forces her to yank it forward, emitting a quiet growl as the bowstring vibrates and glows a faint blue hue. A few minutes pass, trudging forward, and you locate the spot where most of the fighting took place. The shredded carcasses of a pair of giant wasps lie motionless on the ground, and a small patch of grass is stained a reddish brown where Teo had been stung repeatedly. You gather that from here the clearing, and by that token the wasp's nest, is another 80 to 100 feet forward, and if your bag remains where you left it, should be visible as you get close to the perimeter.
Okay. So I'm gonna keep walking towards where I know I left it.
You push through the leaves. Make a perception check. Six. So you start to trudge through, and you can hear some of the branches snapping. And you get maybe 40-ish, 50 feet, which should put you getting pretty close. And the gaps between the trees start to get a little wider as it gets to this clearing. And you can hear a sound.
Okay, I'm gonna stay very still for a second and try to determine where that's coming from.
You stay for a moment. You hear the sound again. It sounds like it's not moving. It sounds like it's currently stationed in the same spot.
Okay, can I gauge? Can I hear? Which direction?
In front of you.
Try to find it.
Yeah, towards the clearing. Yeah.
Okay. Do I see anything?
Not yet. You can get a little closer.
Okay. Is there anything kind of around me as far as can I get a rock of some kind?
Sure. There's rocks and stuff.
Okay, so I want to take a sizable rock if there's
Great.
a rock around this
Sure.
size, and I want to keeping my eye on where I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I want to just kind of as an experiment throw this as far as I can, sort of in the opposite direction.
Like behind you?
No, just away from me and to the left. if
Okay.
that makes
Make an
sense.
athletics check.
Let's go.
Good.
Just athletics. Wait, I never find that.
I think they're alphabetical.
They are. They. 20.
Funny. So you sort of wind up and you take aim through. There's sort of a number of trees in the way, but you find a little slot that you're able to throw it through, and you can hear it kind of thunk, hit off a tree trunk, and you can hear the creature kind of, and you hear sort of a as a couple steps are taken, and you see peeking out from behind a tree that you can see the head of an owlbear that looks to be maybe not a fully grown adult, not a cub by any means. And it kind of looks in the direction, and then it seems to turn back to where it was. And at this point, you hear a little and then a small breaking of glass.
Where did that come from?
It's coming from the same spot.
The same spot? Okay. I really want to find my stuff. It's so frustrating.
Whoa.
You moving forward a little bit?
As carefully
Make
as
a
I
stealth check.
possibly can.
You can do this.
Oh,
Yes!
Nat 20. And
You don't have to add to it.
Yep.
You're just very excited for the +5.
So, you weave your way through, and you kind of head in the direction that you sort of threw the rock through because it has openings that your bow doesn't catch on. You kind of move through without sort of snagging on anything. And you look around, and now you're probably 20 feet away, and you can see the owlbear, and it looks like it's using its sort of beak to pick at your bag that you can see on the ground. And you can see the pieces of what looked to be a broken spyglass now on the ground. That was the cracking and shattering of glass. And at the moment, it sort of... And it lifts something up out of the bag, and it looks like a flask. And it kind of... And it's trying to, like, bite at it.
Lemonade.
And from this spot also, you can kind of see into the clearing now where the larger tree was that the bow was in. And you do still see the wasp's nest kind of sitting at the base of the tree where it fell after Teo kind of yanked the bow.
Okay.
And you don't see any of the larger wasps, but there is a little bit of activity around the nest sitting at the base of the tree.
Okay.
Make a survival check for me.
Okay.
Keep it going, keep it going.
16.
16. So just as you're sort of assessing the situation, a couple things kind of come to mind from your hunting days and back on the Kira mainland. Owlbears are difficult to frighten, but they will flee if they're feeling outnumbered. And they don't like sort of flying pests or creatures because they feel like they can't get at them. And you also remember that they hate feeling like trapped or restrained. Like they sort of panic if they ever feel like they're sort of enclosed or trapped, restrained, anything like that. So there's just some things about the owlbears that you remember.
Okay. Okay, so knowing
What are you
that,
doing as he continues to chew
I'm
through
gonna
your bag there?
I'm gonna try to, if I can kind of, is there any way that I can kind of remain a little in cover? Is there anything that I can kind of...
Yeah, well, you rolled well on stealth, sure. Yeah, you're sort of out of its vision.
So I want to try to go over towards where the wasp nest is.
Okay, sure. Okay. You get to the edge of the clearing, and your bag is sort of on the edge of the clearing, but you sort of circle around where the bag and the bear are so to get to the clearing. So there's a little bit of space here, so you can go over to the nest, or you can now see the nest to your left, and the bear sort of picking through your bag.
Do I see anything buzzing around the nest?
Not the giant wasps that you fought, but a number of
smaller
of
wasps?
like regular sized wasps, yes.
This is a terrible idea. She's gonna walk over to the wasp thing
Okay.
and just praying, just is gonna try to toss it at the bear.
Okay, it's big. First, make an athletics check for me.
Oh god. Great. 8.
8. You get your hands down and you grab around it and you're feeling the little stings on your arms that they kind of... And you can't quite... You can move it, but it's not small enough that you could like pick it up and toss it.
Okay. Can I...
You also take 2 piercing damage from a number of stings
okay.
up and down your
Fair
arms.
Okay. I'm gonna then...
So you got it, but
I
you
have
can't
it.
like you could roll it or but you can't like throw it.
I'm gonna then get as close to the owlbear as I can while I'm kind of in cover. I'm kind of like on the ground with this thing. And I'm
Like
gonna
Atlas kind of like
I'm
with a wasp
gonna
nest?
kind of bowl with it
Oh,
once
okay.
I get close enough. And I'm gonna try to push it towards the...
Give me a nice push. Give me another athletics check.
Towards
Big
the
push.
bear. 12.
Right. So you sort of set it, and you see, and you give it a, and it sort of, and you can see the wasps as it's moving quickly. They start to come out of the nest, And you can see as it gets close, the owlbear sort of looks up, and it still has your flask in its mouth, and it sees the wasps kind of swarming, and it starts to panic, and it kind of like kicks at the ground, and it pushes your bag, and a number of things kind of spill out onto the ground, and then it sort of and it starts to move away. It still has your flask in its mouth, and there's wasps all over your bag. But the owlbear is moving away.
Step by step.
Okay. So I'm gonna stand up and start gathering the stuff from the bag and just kind of.
Okay, make a dexterity saving throw for me as you're
Right.
trying to.
Right.
Great.
Right.
Great.
That's saving throws are okay. 11.
11.
Oh.
You take another 2 piercing damage as you're trying to move around, collect your things, and there's quite a few wasps kind of swarming around at this point.
Okay.
So the things that you get, all of your stuff except the spyglass is broken,
Yeah.
the flask is missing, and
It's not so much missing.
and it looks like you had a number of parchment that you had bought.
Yeah.
It looks like he tore through that, kind of looking through stuff. So
Okay.
that's all kind of ruined. It's in pieces.
Oh.
Other than that, the things are intact.
Okay.
So I'm gonna then gather the stuff, and then I'm gonna try to find. I put my longbow down.
Yeah, it's nearby.
It's
Yep,
nearby?
that's
Okay.
that's all.
Then I'm gonna pick up my bow and my bag
She kind of ducks her head, grabbing
Yeah.
her stuff. There's things stinging.
and start heading back towards the group.
And you make your way back out. You find your horse where it's tied up.
Yeah.
And you sling your leg over and you start to move. And you sort of, Jillian made a point of showing you where she was headed, sort of through the hills of Raventhorn. And you start to head in that direction. And we'll move over to the hills of Raventhorn.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
And the hills continue to roll out in front of you. No semblance of a path, but confidently led forward by Jillian and her chestnut mare. She weaves between the barbed bushes, but she never strays from a sort of charted course that she has, as if the sort of internal compass was leading her to Helmy Ridge. And a watchful eye is kind of kept over her surroundings. But as the terrain kind of dips and rises, it prevents feeling overly exposed at any given point. Like, it doesn't feel like you could see for miles in any direction. So if you were to spot a black line, it wouldn't be like he would be close. It wouldn't be like you'd spot him way, way off, and you couldn't be spotted from way, way off. And every 50 feet or so, with sort of the flick of her wrist, Jillian lops off a chunk of one of the shrubs. She's kind of like... And she's creating little markers for Saphira to follow. And she continues to go. She's riding. You guys are kind of riding single file-ish as you're sort of navigating between these thorny shrubs. You have a moment as you're sort of riding here. Now, we should reach the ridge fairly quickly, perhaps an hour or so, assuming Saphira catches up to us in a reasonable amount of time and we're able to ride forth at a reasonable pace. Does anyone know the story of the missing bag? Or should I just assume that she left it behind while building houses for the homeless?
No.
All right. Erland, why don't you ride up here for a moment so I can give you something before I forget?
So yeah, I sort of passed by everyone.
And everyone at this point has their own horse because Beezaura got on Cinnaberg, so everyone has their own horse at this point.
Right up next to her.
Yeah,
Jillian.
kind of. You guys are moving fairly slow. I know that we're not talking openly about your enhancements, if you want to call them that, but Calcetra mentioned something in passing that I followed up on. Apparently, some scientists at the Natural Studies Institute have been working on products that neutralize toxins in the body. After noting your sickly complexion while fleeing the Genie Temple, that seemed worth exploring. Now, Calcetra doesn't have connections inside the Institute that I know of, but she does have connections with merchants, one of whom has been contracted to bring some of these products between Mukmu and Tuktu. Calcetra was able to acquire one of them for me. Have you ever heard of charcoal and collie pellets?
I don't think so, no.
Make a deception.
Can't with you.
First words out of his goddamn mouth.
Oh my god.
Dirty 20.
Well, apparently they're useful for any kind of poisonings or any sort of build-up of toxin inside the body, and I don't know exactly when to use it or how to use it, but I figured it would be more useful in your hands than mine. And she sort of reaches into a pocket, And she takes out, very similar to what you saw, a little like packet that's sort of bunched at the top and tied with a little string. And she hands it over to you.
Does it seem like there's only one pellet inside or several?
It seemed like that was the implication, yes, that it was one.
But if I open it and take a look, it's
Yeah,
only
it
one.
seems like one. Yep.
She's lying about the amount.
Not everybody
Here's
lies.
one, and there's like 30 of them.
Yeah.
Weird lie.
Yeah.
What do you... it pulls toxins from the body?
As far as I know, neutralizing toxins, the effects of poisons, or any kind of, I don't know, buildup of unwanted substances in the body.
Alright. Thank you, I don't...
Something to keep in mind.
Yes.
How's everyone enjoying the ride? And she kind of turns back.
Oh, it's fine.
Does it seem like as Jillian was giving that to me, does it seem like she's withholding information from me
Make an
about what
insight
she
check.
might know?
What you may know about Kelcetra or about the
withholding information about how much she knows about Erland. About like how much she knows what this will do for me.
Okay, so the pellets.
The pellets
Okay,
specifically.
sure. Yeah, make an insight check. Yeah.
Oh my god.
10.
10. It doesn't really. I mean, she didn't seem to stop herself, or she just was like, she doesn't seem to have any expertise in products like this.
Okay, cool.
She was just relaying what she knew.
Great.
It's difficult to navigate between the thorns, but on the plus side, it will make it very difficult for anyone to sneak up on us.
That's a relief. Thank you, Jillian.
Cities can get a bit stuffy. Fresh air is welcome.
Yes. Assuming we don't run into anything nasty, I think the ride should be quite enjoyable.
Let's hope.
And some time passes, and you enjoy the calm of your surroundings. And despite not being terribly far from the bustling city of Mukmu, the threat of black lions has kept this sort of northwestern region mostly undisturbed. And any motion that you've seen thus far has been native animals. Goats, hares, weasels, the occasional pair of hyenas that, while not harmless, are choosing to hunt safer prey than taking on this sort of pack of riding unknown creatures in their area, thumping through the grass. And the thick dispersion of the shrubberies sort of creates a puppet show effect where some of the creatures will kind of pop their head up and then sort of go back down and sort of disappear among the brush. And you guys ride for a while. And with clouds sort of only lightly obscuring the sky, the nearest peaks of the Shocky Mountains begin to emerge on the horizon. Whites and grays that spring up out of greens and browns and sheer rock faces that, without knowing what awaits you in the mines, kind of makes you thankful that you're not in Beezaura's shoes or scaling these sort of steep portions of the cliffs here in the mountainside. And the hill that you're on at the moment kind of dips down quickly, and in front of you there's another hill that rises up. And as you guys are moving down, Jillian points to this. Now, over this next elevation, and we should be getting a nice view of Helmy Ridge, as well as seeing down into the entrance of the mine, which rests at its base. The ride's been fairly pleasant so far, but don't take anything for granted. Let's take it very slow when we get to the top, see if we catch sight of Wangami anywhere.
Is he simply stationed near the mine? How did he get out there? Where's he from?
I'm told that he'll be meeting us at the entrance. Kelcetra seemed to imply that he was fairly experienced in navigating this area, so I trust him to arrive there safely.
Oh, so you've never met Wangami before?
No, the one that I know was Cinnaberg, the
okay.
halfling that went with Beezaura. Wangami is simply a scout of Kelcetra's of some kind.
And just for clarification, this mine is going to deposit us, once we hopefully get through, will deposit us quite close to the camp itself?
In the correct direction. There will be a bit of a ways to go before we get to the camp. I imagine we'll be resting for the evening, definitely at least once, perhaps twice before we get there, depending on the time that we make.
Do you know of any kind of creatures that we should be preparing ourselves for?
In the mines?
Yes.
I think that's what Wangami's for.
Okay. Great. Has Saphira joined?
Not yet. And you guys you're sort of moving down. It's not like super steep, but you're moving kind of down the hill and easing the horse kind of down. And at that moment, a flock of birds kind of scatter behind you. And in a smooth, practiced motion, Jillian kind of kicks a foot over and in the same motion kind of draws her bow. And she points it up at the hill behind you. And Saphira crests the hill on horseback, now equipped with some additional items. And her pant legs sort of dotted with some thorns, trying to move through the fields with haste. And Jillian sees her and kind of lets the bow fall, and she puts the arrow back in her quiver. Just in time, Saphira.
Yeah, sorry for the detour.
Not a problem. Haven't reached the mines yet. Did you find everything as you left it?
Yeah, mostly. Young owlbear seemed to have taken my parchment, but other than that...
I've got something to write on if that becomes of dire need.
Yeah, cheers.
All right. Shall we?
Okay.
I was just saying we're going to approach this next elevation slowly and take a look over to the other side. We should be getting close to the ridge.
Okay.
And you guys continue. And as the party approaches the apex of the coming hill, Jillian sort of holds up a hand. Let's, dismount. Go on foot, take a peek over before we bring the horses.
Should someone stay with the horses?
If you'd like. Which one of you had the spyglass?
That would be me.
And the other spyglass?
Unfortunately also broken by the owlbear.
Excellent. Graven, stay with the horses. Mm-hmm. She kicks a leg over, and she sort of starts to creep up the side. Who's going with her? Is everyone but Graven going up? Stealth checks for everybody as you approach.
Yeah, that's the best.
Oh boy. Alright, it can't get any worse, can it? Maybe.
Oh.
Alright.
Did it get worse?
It didn't. 13.
8.
8.
What? Come on, you guys! Done better than that.
You guys approach the top, and there still are some of those thorns, and they kind of have these thin roots that extend out, and as you're kind of going up, you can hear some of them kind of snap here and there. If anyone was really close, they might hear it, but you sort of quietly continue forward. A couple times you see Jillian kind of dart back, and
Graven's
And you get to the top.
rolling his eyes.
holding all the horns.
Yeah.
And you can look down from the other side. And at the bottom of the hill, it flattens out for about maybe another 150 feet or so, before a steep and sudden incline turns into a massive rock wall that stretches far to your left and right. A possible escarpment, the result of softer rock layers eroding over time, leaving the ridge to stand alone. And at its base, you see the remnants of wooden scaffolding that's surrounding a sizable opening into the ground. A few long stretches of rusted metal where carts may have run along to bring minerals and debris out of the mine. And at this moment, Jillian has her own spyglass and she produces it, sort of, Orba. Mm-hmm. And the two of you look at the top of the hill here. Make a perception check for me.
Okay.
The other two make a perception check with disadvantage.
13.
13.
Nice. Wow.
One.
Saphira falls backwards down.
I'm sorry. I jinxed it for sure.
So Orba and Jillian look down, and you see not one person but two, clad in black leather with red feathers. Their horses 30 or so paces behind them, and the two of them are hunched over with bows drawn, and they're looking up at one of these sort of wooden beams that made up part of the scaffolding, where a jackrabbit appears to have scuttled up onto a raised platform. And the rabbit kind of gets to the edge of the platform and then sits. And you can see at that moment the barbarians kind of raise their bows and simultaneously, and you can see the two arrows loose. And at the last instant, the jackrabbit hops down to the ground, kind of goes through the bushes. And you can see one of the barbarians kind of turn to the other. And they kind of look around for a little bit. Don't seem to find it. And Jillian leans in. We wait and see if they leave.
Okay.
If we don't have to fight them, that's the best option.
Black Lion?
Yes. And she and Orba continue to look through. And the Black Lions take a second to look around, and then they retreat to their horses. So put their bow on their back, get up on the horses, and they start to move off along the ridge, getting further and further away. And Jillian sort of peers down. Wait, we don't go yet. Wangami should be here already. There's more than one entrance to the mines. Is it possible we've arrived at the wrong one? No, that seems impossible. She sort of stares. And she looks and she waits. And after the barbarians have kind of retreated all the way out of sight, the jackrabbit reemerges from its hiding spot. And it kind of hops around a little bit, and then it sits upright. And after a moment, it kind of holds its arms out, and they begin to grow. And its torso expands rapidly, and its ears seem to dissolve into fibers that become a thick mop of reddish hair atop its head. And its nose flattens back into its face, and gloved fingers kind of sprout from these outstretched paws. And the transformation happens over a mere handful of seconds. Fur to skin, whiskers to a beard, and a rump to a sort of belted waist of a dwarven man. Who brushes the dust off his leather vest before taking a seat on one of the fallen lengths of timber. Well, looks like we've come to the right place after all. Controlled pace, everyone. No need to spook him. And she returns to her horse.
Everything all right?
Looks like our guide is there already.
Excellent.
Doing the two black lions, how often do they patrol?
Black lions come through the hills of Raventhorn fairly often, but I think if we get into the mine with some speed, that might be somewhere they don't look.
All right, well, let's make haste, yes?
Play that to our advantage. She gets up on the horse.
Was that transformation something that only Jillian and Orba saw?
You definitely saw, because the rabbit's so small and
okay.
it turns into a full size. Like you couldn't tell exactly what happened, but it was clear that the creature transformed into something else. Yeah.
What sort of magic was that?
It appears our friend is a shapeshifter.
Ooh.
Is that common in these parts?
Not necessarily. Some people can transform into a few basic creatures, but a talented few can transform into scarier beasts. We'll have to see what kind of skills our friend has.
Oh, I can't wait.
And she leads, and she rides the horse. And the party moves in a pack across the lowland area, fanning out so as not to obscure their numbers. And they approach the entrance to the mine at a sort of steady trot. And the dwarven man rises to greet you, and that's what we'll do. A shield slung over his back, and a scimitar at his hip, but making no move to ready either of them. His body language is that of a seasoned explorer of this mountainous region, knowing what the real threats are and able to tell at a distance that by the way you ride and the way you carry yourselves that you are no black lions. And Jillian kind of rides up to a distance of about 20-25 feet and brings the horse to a halt.
Ah, you must be Jillian. This must be your friend, your party.
Wangami, I presume.
Ah, yes. Welcome. You just missed some friends.
Oh, I think we caught sight of them a little bit, actually.
Let's get inside. Your horses, what are your plans?
Hopefully the mine, and she sort of peeks over, and you can see the mine is large enough, at least most portions of it, to walk your horse. So you couldn't ride it because your head would be getting very close to the ceiling. Mm-hmm. You can walk the horses through.
Okay.
I think we'll be traveling on foot from here on out.
All right.
Kelcetra speaks very highly of your familiarity with the Shaki Mountains and these mines. This is Graven, Safira, Orba, and Erland.
Greetings!
Hello.
Welcome to Raventhorn Hills and whatever. You obviously want to avoid the Black Lion.
Yes,
Well, it should be an easy trek through the mines. They've been abandoned for a long time.
Wonderful.
Glad to hear it.
A little circuitous route. Various areas have collapsed. So that's the main thing we have to worry about.
Is this a journey that you've made recently?
Oh no, it's been a little while since I've been in here, but...
And your friends,
Okay.
the black lions?
They're not my
don't-
friends.
You referred to them as such earlier.
I was being sarcastic. Don't you know what
Yes.
Alright.
Do they go into the mines?
Oh no, they wouldn't go into the mines. They're doing their
Is
black
there a
lions
particular
thing.
reason for the fact that they're not going into the mines? I know you said they're
But there's
not
no
dangerous.
exit of the mines, but I hear you have someone who is going to open the other side.
Correct.
The black lions aren't particularly smart.
Okay.
Are you from these parts? How do you know?
Do we want to have this conversation out in the open, or do we want to get inside?
That's a great point.
Just go inside.
And they start to walk the horses towards the mines. And as you're sort of moving towards the entrance, is there anything we should know ahead of time? Dangers that might await us other than these cave-ins? That you
Well,
said?
obviously you're adventurers of some sort. I see you are well armed. So I'm assuming you can handle yourself from, various critters and so forth. Nothing too onerous, I mean...
Okay.
We prefer not to, but if we have to,
Of course,
so
of
be it.
course. But, things happen.
From what Kelcetra was able to relay to me, there are 2 levels to the mine.
Yes.
So we'll
Yes.
be finding the ramp to the upper level.
Yes.
And then heading out the exit.
Yes.
Through one of the large ventilation shafts. Is that correct?
That is my understanding, where I know exactly where this gate is that Halflings going to open.
And the ventilation shaft has the gate, or is it through?
No, the ventilation shaft, I understand at the end of the gate there is a door there that will be opened by Beezaura.
And the lower level doesn't at all lead to the exit of the tunnel?
My understanding is that we have to travel through both levels.
We have to travel through
Oh,
both
sorry,
levels. Yes,
understand.
yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes, this mine was abandoned a while ago and was unsuccessful and barren, as it were.
Oh, okay.
And you haven't seen anything travel in or out since
Oh,
you've been...
no. But again, I have not been here for a while, so there may be surprises as always. But life always brings surprises, does it not?
That it does.
That's what makes
my
life
friend.
life.
Truly.
All right,
Okay.
You're all equipped and prepared?
Yes.
let's go.
I'll just have my crystal out in my hand, ready to go. Horse in one hand.
And the horses you lead them through. And you get to the entrance. The mine's entrance is this sort of imposing construct of interlocking wooden beams with iron end caps, showing few signs of buckling or decay despite their neglect. The ridge's ratio of sort of rock to earth is solid enough that a lack of maintenance hasn't caused it to kind of cave in here at the entrance. And you pass through, and the darkness sort of quickly begins to swallow you. Graven, for the less fortunate of us, perhaps, a bit of light.
I'll take out my mace and
And she holds out your hand at a moment. Nothing sensitive to light in the mine.
No, we should be fine.
I'll make a white but kind of dull light out of the mace that I can hold up and
Oh, that's fun.
useful. Yes.
Yes, for those who can't see in the dark, I imagine so.
And you guys continue to go.
Can you see in the dark?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a dwarf.
Okay. good to
We
know.
we are natural affinity to interior caves and mountains and tunnels and
Okay.
so forth.
Good to know.
I do ask that because I don't know how much experience you have in mines or tunnels or under the earth.
Okay.
Fairly little, I would say.
So please listen to me and take my direction when needed. We may come upon some areas that are unsafe, might be apt to collapse.
Okay.
So please follow my directions when necessary.
Yes, sir.
I'll wait your word.
All right. You guys continue. And the entrance kind of opens up into what looks like it was once the quarry's vestibule, sort of an exchange point for mine carts and wheelbarrows. And it's spacious enough for at least sort of 2 wagons to be loaded up when the miners needed to dump a bunch of rocks and then sort of take a cart out and dump it outside. And lining the left side are a number of broken, damaged, or simply forgotten vehicles, carts, sleds that are determined to be sort of unworthy of the cost of effort of transporting them out. And sections of the railway are piled up, leaned against walls, rusted over completely. And though one pair of rails seems installed in the floor still, it remains there, and it kind of leads quickly to the right and through a small mine shaft to your right. And it looks like there's that sort of way out of this room, and then further down on the right side, there's another sort of wider sort of entryway into a different room.
All right, let us keep heading down, forward.
Okay.
All right. We'll be taking a right here.
Okay.
So that's following the tracks, yeah?
No, the tracks were going down the narrow.
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Okay.
They're both to the right, but the tracks were down that narrow sort of path.
Does it look like anything's kind of been disturbed?
Make an investigation check.
Layers of dust or bits of wood? I don't know. Investigation. Holy crap.
Good start.
1.
You don't see anything. The light is enough to sort of illuminate the area, but it's hard to see if anything sort of dirt's disturbed. Things have been. I mean, there's a lot of broken down stuff, but could be just time taking its toll.
Graven just looks around.
Nothing good here.
You have the light, so we should be fine. For there's nothing dangerous, no possible collapses here. So
Okay.
when you follow, you lead.
Yes.
Right now, thank you.
And the tunnel that we just walked past collapsed already, you said?
Much further down.
Oh.
It is collapsed. Blocked. I mean, I'm assuming you may have seen me change my form as we were approaching.
Yes.
So there's parts I can crawl through, small kind of stuff. That way, it's not safe.
Okay.
For those of us that cannot become smaller than we are.
Yes, no. Cannot.
Shame.
I cannot.
No. Would be nice.
So, Graven.
Graven.
Forward!
Here we go.
And you're walking forward. And you start to move. And you peek around the corner into the next open room. Make a stealth check for me with disadvantage, because you weren't really sneaking.
Because you're so big.
I'm a big boy.
You can do it.
Disadvantage, you say?
Yeah. That first one looked like a hot one.
Yeah, fine.
So you move kind of quickly with the light, sort of moving in the direction you've been told. Mm-hmm. And you see a chamber that was likely used as a kind of changing room, prep area. There's a pair of long tables that remain standing, despite their sort of cracked legs or splintered planks. And there's these hooks all along the far wall that look like they may, you'd hang clothes there or something. And there's several curved metal rods that look like they once hung lanterns, kind of nearby those little cubby holes almost. And you see a couple cracked full-length mirrors that catch the light from your sort of base as you're holding it up, and it kind of makes this sort of effect on the wall, sends an uneven shine kind of dancing around the ceiling. And in the back right corner, very suddenly coming out of the dark as you move around the corner, you see the rise and fall of a dark bluish mound.
Oh, Jesus.
And in this dim environment, its camouflage and curled up position is doing a good job disguising it as a pile of stone or rubble. But the spines along its back, as the light comes over it, kind of flare up. And as its weight shifts, their length and the deep red colors indicate a fully grown basilisk. He's made a sort of little home in this corner here in the quiets of this mine.
Is it like unfurling? Is it look like
No,
it's
it
noticed?
looks like it's shifting. It looks like
just-
the light came through and it sort of
Okay.
like moved.
And I recognize it as that.
Yep,
It's-
as you sort of.
Oh, hold.
What is it?
Quiet.
And as with the noise, it kind of, you see the spines kind of furl again.
There is a basilisk in the corner by the mirrors.
Do we need to walk past it?
Do we
Definitely have to get through that room.
But can we pass through without disturbing it?
Is there room enough to get by it?
Oh, jeez.
Do I know
Is there
anything
room enough
about
to get by it?
There is.
If
You'd be
have to
walking
be
closely
really
by
quiet,
it, yeah, but
okay.
there is.
Oh,
Do I know anything about basilisks?
Make a nature check.
I'm gonna guess it's no.
Give me a survival check on the nature.
8.
And actually, give it with advantage because it's a
Please.
monstrosity, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
are good at those.
13.
13.
Go.
So you do. They're sort of these large, sort of serpentine creatures, and they have these sort of rough scales. And the basilisks are sort of famous for having a petrifying gaze. If they sort of stare at you for too long, you start to turn to stone and start to get sort of disabled. Also, in your sort of experience in dealing with them, you do know that in their sort of esophagus, their gullet, there is a bile that it produces that when they're eating their prey, it dissolves the stone. So if someone were to get petrified, you could use the sort of saliva to unpetrify someone. So you have a little experience dealing with them.
Okay, it is possible that we could get by, but it's not going to be easy. We're all going to have to be very quiet. I suggest, Saphira, if you wait last, we all, one at a time, go. If anything happens, don't you have some kind of ensnaring arrow?
Yes, I do.
And then you, as probably the quietest, could be the last one through.
I think that's a good idea, but you have to kill the light first of all.
I can see it bouncing off the mirror, so whenever I put it out.
I won't be able to see where I'm going.
You can hold my hand.
All right.
If it's asleep, how about killing it while it sleeps?
Okay.
Why
I'll
not just...
I put out
I think
the
we
light.
should ambush it before.
I think that might be a better plan.
How big is the doorway that we're trying to go through compared to the basilisk?
The basilisk could definitely fit there. It would be tight, but it could. I mean, a basilisk is slightly smaller than a horse.
But like, if we were to run past it through the thing,
It could
it
follow
follow us through the tunnel
To the next area?
To the
Yes,
next area.
it could
Okay.
follow you to the next area.
Wangami, is it just that one tunnel after this room? Like, if I woke him
Or
up?
what about the other tunnel? You said it was partially caved in. Is there any way?
No way for you to get through. Certainly not with your horse. Certainly not with you. It would take
If we wake this
days.
thing up, it's going to follow us, and
Right.
we're going to be trapped.
Right, but what I was going to ask is, what if we woke it and kind of baited it out in front of us?
Baited it in front of us to lead the way?
In a way, yes. Like, lead it down the tunnel.
With the intention of doing what?
I don't
Is that not the
know.
direction
Well,
we're heading?
That's why I'm asking if it opens up at any point and goes into different paths.
Oh, we're hoping it goes a different direction.
Is there any way for it to lead it to somewhere where we could block it off, lock it into a different room?
Oh, it seems very unlikely, very unlikely. Once we get through here and take another right, there's a long passageway with no exits.
Okay, never mind then.
With
Why
Bas-
not?
You have to be careful. If you make eye contact with it, if it sees you, you become petrified.
Well, that's what those mirrors could be perhaps useful for.
Oh, like putting it in front of our
No,
faces?
like if
That
we
guy,
do
that
have to
guy.
fight, if we do have to fight it, we can look at the mirror at the basilisk.
Hang on, that's
That
Are you
works.
skilled with fighting while looking into a mirror?
I've never tried it before.
Wait, hang on. Was it meant to be here? Is it guarding something?
It's sort of a.
Who cares?
Goodness.
Seems a wild
I'm sure
beast.
we just came in here and taken
Basilisks are mountain-faring
Into a room
creatures.
full of mirrors. Does that seem like somewhat of an alarming coincidence to you?
Well, I will say, while I did say the Black Lions do not come explore these mines, they could be following us at some moment, especially with light glancing off to the mines.
So we attempt to sneak by it, and otherwise we fight it.
I think so. Avoiding conflict this early seems the best course, yes?
Sure.
I think so.
Just
One
in
at
case,
a
let me
time.
go forward. Let me go first.
You go first?
Go first, so I can make sure the other area, they're not getting trapped in the other end.
All right.
If there's going to collapse or anything.
Ulrich,
I think Safira and I should be the last to go.
yes.
Graven and I are going to have to follow someone.
I'll go second to last.
I can lead Graven as best I can.
All right. Are you heading in that direction?
Yes, I'm going to go. Sneak past.
Give me a stealth check with advantage,
Oh,
as
boy.
it's you have dark vision and it's not awake at this moment.
Very long.
Already spicy.
I'm going to choose. I got a 20 for some reason. That's weird. 10.
With advantage, you said?
Yeah, with advantage.
Oh, yeah. Roll it again.
Roll
Great,
twice and
great.
take the higher one.
The higher.
10.
I tried. I tried to help.
10 total.
Yes.
Even with
Oh,
modifier.
and plus dex?
Yeah. Plus,
Plus
it's
stealth.
on your skills there. Plus stealth.
Yes.
10.
12, sorry.
12. Great. So you sort of quietly move by, and you're able to sort of hug the edge of the wall. Now, you don't have a horse, so you can
Right,
sort of maneuver easily
Right.
by.
Horses.
Yeah.
And you sort of you do get to the other side, and
Are there mirrors on this end?
there's sort of 3 mirrors. Two of them are pretty broken up. One of them's decently intact, and it's
Right.
pretty close to the far entrance that you
Great.
were.
I'm going to also take that off.
Great.
It's
like-
prepared.
it's-
yeah. To have it prepared.
Yep.
Okay,
Sort of
yeah,
have it.
Yeah, and I will station myself at the end as they're coming
Yeah.
through, and I will go look through the other and see.
Sure.
Pass through that doorway. to
Make an
sure-
investigation
Yeah.
check for me. Into the next room. You
Yes.
Yeah,
Make sure that. 7 total.
7. Great. So you take a peek in and you give it a quick glance because you know there's dangers behind you. You don't see anything out of the ordinary. No cave-ins or anything that you wouldn't see otherwise.
Right.
That you wouldn't expect to see.
All right, I can't see anything. Who's going next?
Wait. How dangerous is this? Could it be very dangerous to us?
I mean, would I be able to say yes? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it poses a reasonable threat. This isn't like, oh my god, we'd be obliterated, but they're a threatening creature.
I could.
When you know its weaknesses and strengths, it's
Look, it's not something I prefer to tangle with when I'm not sure what
Okay.
we're getting into on the other side of these mines.
What I'm saying is, I could create an area of silence, so that we might pass without making any noise.
You can do that?
I can do that.
Is that extremely taxing on you?
We're
I don't
going to
know
have
what
to
we're going to up against
escort
later, but
horses past this
yes,
beast.
the horses I think are going to be the key here. I think it's going to be worth it.
Would I know if the horses would likely get scared? Like, is there something like...
If the creature stirred, they might, but you could lead them through, assuming it sort of stays curled up sleeping.
Yeah.
They wouldn't just be scared of the sight of it. Also, horses don't have dark vision; they can't see it.
Yeah.
Oh.
The light reflecting off of it.
I think it might.
The light's out at this point. You turn the light
Graven,
on.
I believe you might be right, yes.
Okay. Even without the light, could I kind of tell?
You were the one who
how
looked
far
into the
away
room,
I
so
can
we'll
see
say
where
yeah.
it is. Okay, so within 120 feet of me, yes?
Definitely.
I can create a 20-foot radius sphere.
Okay. That won't cover the whole room.
Right.
It'll cover the majority of what you have to walk through.
Okay.
Just as you're getting to basically where Wangami is with the mirror on the other side, he's out. He would be outside of it, but it would cover most of it.
Okay. No sound can be created within or pass through a 20-foot radius sphere.
Okay.
Great.
All right. So I'll do it kind of like near it with a passage.
Sure. You sort of
Whatever makes sense.
Yeah, you sort of center it in sort of the middle of the room that allows, as soon as you're stepping into the room, you're stepping into the cone of silence, and most of the way, assuming something didn't happen, part of the way through, you're covered by silence.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Graven's just gonna mumble under his breath, like.
You sort of hear it kind of makes this like, and Jillian, who was sort of right behind you and you on the edge, you can hear sort of the general din of the mines, and then it sort of, and it makes this like vacuum of silence.
All right, now, once I go in here, or Jillian, I will be able to neither see nor hear a single thing, so.
Okay.
Give us.
I'll have my hand on your back, I suppose.
Yes.
Someone?
Jillian, I've got you.
Takes her hand. Who's going first?
Yeah, I'm picturing it like who's going first? A horse and me, and then a person, and then a horse. Like
yeah, it's like a little conga line kind of. Yeah, it's a little makeshift.
Okay.
Can I kind of calm my horse a little bit first?
Yeah, make an animal handling check.
Okay.
Oh.
Natural one. It panics.
Yeah. 21.
Nice.
That's a calm horse.
You sort of.
Calmed all the horses.
You can see that it's kind of stirring a little because it can't see. It's pretty dark after you put the light out. But you sort of, it senses your presence. And at this point, you've ridden this horse quite a number of times, so it sort of feels your sort of presence, the presence of its master.
Forehead to
Calms.
forehead.
Yep. And it sort of.
So who's going?
I want to stand back
Yeah.
and have an ensnaring arrow in my ready to
Sure.
go in my bow.
So Erland's leading Graven.
So I'm gonna put my hand on Graven's back.
Okay.
So I'm leading my horse
So
here.
you're pushing him forward.
Yeah, and I'm sort of have my hand on his shoulder and I'm guiding him forward.
Great.
As I'm sort of about to enter this space, can I learn anything else about the room? Does it seem like the mirrors were put there for the basilisk? How are they broken?
Give me an investigation check.
Oh goodness.
7.
The way that they're set up, it really looks like it was as miners are changing clothes and stuff. There's mirrors so they could wipe grime off of their face. It did not seem like they were. They're also the frames and things like they look old and musty. It seems like it was part of the mine, not part of the basilisk.
Okay,
Like any part of that.
So then I'm just leading Graven through.
You guys start to move through. Give me stealth checks with advantage as you move through this quiet.
There we go.
This is totally going to be worth it, I know it.
Okay. That's
With
better.
advantage.
With advantage.
Yes.
Thank
don't
Christ.
forget about that advantage.
19.
19 as well.
Yeah, the first one was not good.
And you guys go so quietly, and as you go through, Jillian and the people around, there's no sound. The horses move through, no sound at all. You get to the other side.
I start gesturing, pointing behind them.
Behind the map.
Behind them, pointing because I'm not in the cone of silence.
Yeah, you're not in the corner.
Right, so I'm pointing.
To go to the other side?
No, look look.
So we look.
Behind you.
We look behind us.
Right.
What are they looking at?
Yeah, and then I drop the mirror.
Oh, okay. And as he's sort of pointing, it sort of cracks, and the sound kind of rattles out through the area, and the basilisk. I need everybody to roll initiative.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
What? That was 20. Oh my god.
There's a bunch of 20s.
No, you're totally fine.
No, I was looking for it.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Chris, what have you done?
I know things you don't.
Oh my god.
You better.
Okay. Well, I started out okay.
Oh.
Oh no.
And there's silence in the middle of this for 10 minutes. I guess I can dispel it.
Okay. Oh my
So this
God.
is where you came in, and this is where you're headed, and the basilisk is here in the corner, which we'll see in a second. For the purposes of any fights that may take place, we're gonna assume the horses get a little spooked and start to run down some of the hallways.
Oh,
they're not gonna run
shit.
away, but they're not gonna be factors in
Yeah.
the middle of the combat.
The marker's not working.
So the basilisk has awoken in the corner.
Lick it.
I did lick it.
Oh, no, that's Ben's. Oh, no. That's probably making it worse,
This is
actually.
Wangami, who is sort of at the where you guys are headed. Graven and Erland had just gotten to the edge here.
We don't have a
silence.
backup expo, do we? It's dry.
I don't know the answer to that.
We don't need it.
Saphira stayed all
We're
the way
going old
back.
school.
Get a sheet of paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can.
And Orba and Jill.
Orba got an 18.
Oh, good for you.
Thank
18,
you.
Orba. Yeah, so 20 to 25?
21.
Oh.
Did you roll initiative as well?
Yes, 12.
Great, yeah.
With the
15 to 20?
I was 18.
Orba,
Yeah.
Jillian is 15.
You were 14?
12.
Oh, 12.
Thank you,
okay.
Anthony.
15 is Jillian.
Did you?
I'm sorry, 14?
No, 12.
I keep saying that because I'm 14.
You might get an attack if you turn it out already.
14
You
is
like ready an
Graven.
attack?
12.
Was Saphira technically readying an attack then?
It was. We will get to that.
WGANI.
Sorry.
WANGA.
Those are mirrors.
MI.
Here's a couple. Oh, no, that's
5 to 10.
bad. 10 is the basilisk.
10 basilisk.
Couple of tables in here.
Oh, okay,
And
so
7.
that's where he is. Got it.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah. So you made a you made a silence here, and like just the edge is not in the
I mean,
silence.
I'll probably just dispel that because I don't know what
Yeah. Does that take a
would
bonus
be.
action or something to dispel it or something?
Any other creatures could hear
I guess,
us attack
but,
this thing?
but
What
we
if the
can't,
basilisk
we
goes
can't
like a-
communicate.
Right now, the people,
there
the only people
communication
in the
about
cone are Erland and Graven.
So we can't hear anything outside the cone.
You can't hear anything.
That
Oh, so you didn't even hear the mirror?
No.
No, So we looked over our shoulder and probably saw that thing wake up.
Yes. Start
Actually,
to rise.
I don't see or hear anything. I'm still.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah, you don't even
Give me a
see.
perception check, and Orba, give me a perception check.
But I heard the mirror shadow.
Yes, but you did not see
I
it.
wasn't. I didn't see it, but I heard it.
18.
Thank
So
God
Erland, as
for
he
it.
was sort of leading Graven through, it looks like he was sort of leading Graven, and Graven with the horse kind of, Wangami kind of reached out to get you guys, and in doing so, the mirror kind of slipped and broke. As he was sort of reaching to guide you, because you couldn't see, he
Right.
was kind of reaching to get you through.
Okay.
Great.
So I saw.
You
one
saw
guy.
Wangami try to reach to help Graven to be like, come this way, and
So it
you
seemed
dropped.
accidental, not on purpose.
Yeah, as far as
Okay.
you could tell, yeah.
And I just feel my horse run away.
Yes, so the horses will say have gone down this hallway a little bit, but they will be.
All it says about my silence is that it's concentration. It doesn't say anything about dispelling. it.
Yeah, I think you can end concentration at will.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure you can.
All right.
Yes, if you want. Right now it's
Oh.
up, but you can end it. At
Here's
will.
a reason to get rid of it: is casting a spell that includes a verbal component
Yes.
is impossible here.
Yes, although
Okay,
Orba's
I'm
not
in
in
it,
it
though,
at the
so-
moment.
Oh,
Good luck.
cool! Thanks.
That's teamwork.
All right. So can we just hear it so I know
Yeah.
what the lineup is?
Erland, Orba, Jillian, Graven, Wangami, Basilisk, Saphira.
Great.
Saphira.
Cool.
I know, I rolled it.
And you can end concentration at any time, not just your turn, and it doesn't
Okay.
take an action bonus action anyway.
All right, so I'll hold it
comrade.
for now, I guess, until I get fucking chomped by this thing.
All right.
Erland's up first.
All right, Erland.
Alright, Erland, come on.
Get it out. There we go.
Give me a moment.
There it is.
I can't. It's tough to reach over my dudes here, but
Yep.
we got 1, 2. Is getting
5,
on top
10.
of the table count as extra?
No.
Okay, so I could do like 1, 2. So it's
They're old-looking tables. Just be aware of that.
sweet. So 5, 10.
He's like, alright, going around.
25 to get all the way there without stepping on the table.
Okay, so let's go.
He's okay. I'm gonna. Yeah, Erland's gonna sort of run up to him, sort of sidestep the table, and two-handed quarterstaff.
As you
to the
turn,
Basilisk.
give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, right, I forgot to say I didn't look at him. It's a thing I thought. But...
And its eyes kind of glow as you turn.
Oh, 15.
15 passes, great. So you sort of see its eyes glow, and you kind of avert your eyes a little bit, and you start to charge forward. So you're going up.
So yeah, I'm
5, 10,
going up, and I'll
15,
keep my arm up, so I'm not
Right.
really looking directly into it. Two-handed quarterstaff attack.
Make an attack roll.
19
19 hits. Roll for damage.
Six bludgeoning damage.
6 bludgeoning damage, great.
I know. Actually, no.
You are out of the silence also, so you kind of ran, and as you exit the cone, you can hear the sort of growling of the beast as it gets up.
Great.
So Graven is now the only one. I think I have a silence.
Can't see.
Silenced. You're also blinded.
Yeah. Because I don't get a chance to like do light as a bonus.
I think it costs a. What does it cost? It says on there.
It's a bonus, but I can't do it not on my turn.
Yes.
Correct.
Like I couldn't do it as the.
There, we got one for
right?
both. Slow. Oh wait, that's slowed, not silenced. Yes, Erland.
slow.
5.
No, I put it upside down. That's all I'll do for now.
25, 30, 35.
Give the man a break,
Jesus.
John.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about
No.
Covered in shit.
So where does the remainder of my movement get me?
What did you use?
I
25?
use 25.
Yeah.
So if I'm
30,
straight back.
35, 40.
Okay.
is a full action.
So
Let's go.
I'm
go about your
gonna
business.
let's go actually. Graven can still. It's a larger creature than me, so if I'm in front of Graven, it can still see it, right? Or is it not larger than me?
You mean can Graven still see it?
Yeah, like if I'm standing in front.
Oh
of
yeah,
If
he can still see it.
Okay,
yeah.
great. So I want to then, actually, instead of movement directly back, I want to go a couple over and then one to the right so that I'm right behind the table. So
Okay.
30, 35,
It's
40.
gonna get an attack of opportunity there.
No, I'm using Step of the Wind. I'm
Got
using a key point for Step of the Wind.
You sort of go in, whack, and then.
And then disengage and then pop back out.
Oh shit,
Great.
on your eye. Oh my gosh.
Anything else?
No, that's my
Didn't
turn.
you get a free punch?
It's a bonus action.
Oh, and you can't use
I'm
that
using my
and-
bonus action
Got it.
as my disengage.
Good job. I was testing you.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. So that's it.
All right. Who's next?
That'll be.
Oh,
Orba.
and sorry, averting my eyes, I'm looking into the mirror to my left.
Okay. You can sort of keep track. It's a little cracked. Give me a perception check, actually.
My God.
What does that mean? Why did you do
It was 8.
8. So you can track its movement, but if you tried to make like a ranged attack, like with a dart or something, you'd be doing it at a disadvantage trying
Great.
to track it. But you can see where it's going.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay, so you just said any range attack is going to be disadvantage if we're not looking at it?
Yes, because that's yes, that's an unseen creature. Yes.
Okay.
If you don't look at it.
Okay.
But if you look into a mirror, you could potentially not have disadvantage.
With a
right?
good
Yeah.
perception check, yeah, with a sort of good evaluation.
Okay, it's me.
Yeah.
All right. So can I, from where I'm standing, see a mirror and get like a proper view of this thing?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Nope, that's not gonna do it. That's
Those
a
are the
7.
only 2 mirrors.
Because there was a third one, but it's broken now. It's on the floor, broken.
That's a 7.
7. It's you don't get a good look at it from that distance.
Okay. Can I get an eye of its like feet? Like I'm thinking maybe the basilisk, like its eyes are the thing that's the source of what she was telling us about. So can I like get an eye at its feet?
To make an attack roll.
Yes.
To get a good enough look, you're gonna have to. It's gonna try and meet your gaze, kind of. We'll say it that way.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Sneaky snack.
So you could
That
make
is a
something
very
at
sneaky
disadvantage, or you could attempt the saving throw and make it without disadvantage.
I'm not feeling a save right now.
Psychic basilisk, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm gonna test this out a little bit, and I'm gonna cast Ray of Frost, but with disadvantage. I'm gonna
Okay.
kind of close my eyes a little bit.
Make your attack roll.
That is a 16 to hit.
Ooh, 16 hits.
Yes.
So Orba sort of peeks in and then.
It's
pretty big, right?
Alright, so
Yeah,
that's just
it's
a
big.
1d8.
You have a good idea where it was?
So that's 5 damage.
5 damage.
And-
5 what kind of damage?
Oh, 5 cold damage.
Okay. 5 cold.
And its speed is reduced 10 feet until the start of my next turn.
Okay.
Nice. Keep it
Great.
away from me.
So it's sort of, and you can see as it's moving its limbs, it kind of like it's moving slowly as it tries to move through the frost.
Okay. I'm gonna take a step back.
What how easy, man. Like I'm the resident tank.
How far back do you want to go?
Do I have line of sight right where I am there?
If you move behind Jillian there, you can see it
Okay,
from
great.
there.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Okay.
Jillian's next.
Jillian's next. So Jillian, sort of having a little expertise and knowing how to fight them, she's gonna avert her eyes and take another step back. What is Jillian? And she's gonna shout to the group, "Keep your distance, and it won't affect you." And she pulls an arrow and fires, and she doesn't have to make the saving throw. There's a distance on the gaze. You were in range of it.
Oh, good.
If you didn't,
That makes me feel better.
So Jillian's gonna attack. 18 to hit. That hits.
Yes.
I
don't
4
hear that.
piercing damage. You do not hear that. No.
Oh shit! Yeah, you don't
Great.
hear
So
it.
she looses an arrow and it kind of whirls and
Neither do I.
sticks
I can't think anymore.
in sort of
Step
between one of the
Yeah.
scales of the basilisk. And that's it. That's what she's gonna do for now.
All right.
Okay.
It's Graven. Yeah.
In the dark.
Yeah.
You can't hear anything.
Like screaming at nothing into emptiness. No, I'll take it. Feeling the horse go and Erland's gone.
Are you maintaining the
Well,
sounds? Okay.
no, probably
No,
not.
that's okay.
Because the first thing I'm gonna take out the mace
Sure.
and light the mace
Sure.
with my
As the action next.
one action.
Okay, so the room, and are you dispelling the spell?
And then when I see what's going on around me, yeah, I'm gonna.
Great. So no longer silenced, no longer blinded.
Yeah.
Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
I love those. Those are my favorite.
I was
Oh, wait,
hoping
yeah.
you'd ask that.
That's always a bad thing.
19.
19.
Yeah, all that
So-
gruesome practice.
So you light the light and you see the basilisk, but you see its eyes start to glow, and you immediately sort of avert your eyes.
Holy shit.
All
That's
right.
it.
Are you moving at all? Still moving?
How far am I away?
30 feet, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 feet away.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay there. For
Okay.
now.
All right.
So it's with frost semi-contained.
Yes, so it looks like it's moving slowly.
Would ensnare increase that, or just be redundant?
No, it could, because your speed drops to 0 if they're restrained.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. Then
So
I-
right now its speed is more than 0, it's just
Great.
slow.
Then I will ensnare.
Great. What kind of save is that or something?
I don't know.
It should say on the card, enemy makes a something saving throw.
Strength.
Strength saving throw.
Let's use your.
10. And on your spellcasting card there, it says your save DC. Spell save DC.
Right. 11.
11. So the roots come up.
And it becomes restrained. Does it take any damage or it's just restrained?
No, it's just restrained.
Great.
Still pretty
All right. So.
For one, it's 1 minute duration.
Great. Which is
That's
Should be.
10?
You're gonna take longer than a minute
No,
to
6
spell it.
minutes.
You're not adventurous.
1 minute. Yes.
What?
Wait, 10 rounds.
10 rounds.
10
Yeah,
rounds.
that's what I said. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
sweet.
And I will take a step back to
Great.
make sure I'm
Does it get to try and break out on its turn?
on its turn. Yes.
And what is that, a strength?
It
can repeat the
creature
save.
restrained by plants can use this action to make a strength check
Another strength.
against your spells. Yeah.
Great. So it's restraint.
All right. Huh.
For 1 turn.
I was gonna say, it's up next.
now. So, but it
hopefully
took its turn.
It doesn't.
Well, it
Yeah,
has to do a strength saving.
that's true.
It's either that or attack. So.
Yeah. Great. So it sort of it feels the vines come up and it immediately starts to like move its giant limbs and try and break out. 13.
Yeah, that is
13.
11, so it's
Great. So it does.
Okay.
So it does break out, but it can't. That uses its action.
And it still has.
And it still has the reduced movement. It can only move 10 feet, and it's going to go 5, 10.
Is it touching me now?
Yeah, it is. That's as far as it can go. That's it.
Okay.
What's up?
Well,
Saphira.
I am going to cast Hunter's Mark on
Okay.
it first, and then I had prepared.
It doesn't make a save or anything, right? It just gets marked.
No.
Yeah.
And then I had prepared
top hat.
my ensnaring arrow. So I'm just gonna.
Oh yes. Were you inside? Yeah, we'll say. So you're gonna give me 2 shots here because your held action should have been earlier, actually.
Okay.
So give me the ensnaring arrow shot. Roll to.
Okay.
Propose good.
12. 12
That doesn't hit. Although, let me make sure.
Which button is this?
It's no longer restrained. Okay, yeah, that misses. So the arrow.
It's the wolf bow.
I wanted to fire this with my normal.
Yeah, with your normal bow. Yep. But you fired an ensnaring arrow,
Yes,
correct?
I did.
Yep.
Oh, no.
So that misses and it kind of sticks in the far wall. So you can attack again because that was your
Right.
held action.
Okay.
And you notice at this distance that you don't feel the effects of any kind of petrification. So it does appear you're out of range of that.
Okay, then I'm gonna look right at it and I'm gonna fire a normal.
Great. Make another attack.
Come on.
There we go.
You got it.
21.
That hits. Roll for damage.
That bow's so good, man.
It's been
I
a while
know.
too because I've been using the
You've
other
been
one.
using wolf bow.
It's
Yeah,
the
What is the damage? It's double pyramid.
double pyramid.
Dibs pier.
Never remember that.
Shut up. I hated it too.
7. And
7
it's already
plus. It is already
damaged.
damaged. Colossus Slayer.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is that again?
I think it's a D8.
Sorry, I'm pretty sure it is too, but I just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Another 5. It was
Yeah.
7 and then
Yeah,
5.
7.
Great.
Yes.
Great. So it'll go. And then Hunter's Mark.
Oh my god.
What is the extra damage on Hunter's Mark?
Wow.
It's touching me.
It's been,
It's touching
I
me.
haven't ever hit anything with this. You deal an extra 1d6 damage to the target.
Give us another 1d6.
Wow.
Give us a d6.
Just one.
13 damage though. That's pretty good.
It's not enough.
That is pretty good.
Right, so with a big arrow, and it kind of sticks into its neck, and it kind of tries to sort of get out of that spot. Who's next?
Erland.
Back to the
Top
top.
of the
Top of the lineup.
Okay.
Is that just you with Hunter's Mark, or anybody who damages it?
It's just me. It's and it's concentration.
Okay, great.
You choose a creature. Yeah, until you deal an extra
Great.
one.
I just didn't know if it was there. Okay.
So how long? Its movement was halved last we checked. Yes.
Yes.
Great. Sorry. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I am going to use disengage as my action.
Okay.
And I'm gonna.
You're not attacking.
I'm
you're
not
just
attacking.
disengaging. Okay.
I'm disengaging, and I'm gonna park myself in front of Orba.
25.
And I'm gonna sort of like crouch down so she still has like line of sight over
Okay.
it a
Thank
little bit.
Are you looking at the creature?
No.
Okay.
I was looking at the mirror as I sort of like
Absolutely
bobbed
not.
away.
Tunnel vision all the way to the back.
And that is my turn.
Okay.
Orba.
Wow, big baby. Okay, Orba.
Yes, got this guy.
I think it's just the hunter's
What?
mark on it,
can't
right?
be-
Or
Yeah,
is that-
it's unrestrained now.
But it is
we got it.
slowed a
That's
little
true.
bit.
Because
no,
till its next
actually
turn.
Till her next turn, right?
Is the slow till your next turn or his next turn?
Start of my turn.
Okay.
So
it's
now
fine.
it's not slow.
Yes, the slow has.
Yeah, whoa, so I reduced it by a lot, actually. Whoa. Okay.
And back on your spell pages, go
Yes.
to your spells. So that used up a spell slot there. If you want to flip those over to the other side. No, one of the spells. You can use the same spell multiple times.
Right.
Orba?
Yeah, alright, Orba, she wants to slow him, but I think she wants to do a little bit of damage. So she's actually going to cast Ice Knife.
Okay.
Boom!
A new
Very
fun thing.
exciting. No, I just haven't had it equipped in forever.
And you're out of range of the.
Yeah, so
saving
I'm gonna
throw.
look dead in its eyes, just stare it down, and cast
Make an attack.
Ice Knife. Oh, it's so good. Oh shit! Wait, I don't have my plus. I think it's just the same as my other spells, right?
It's your.
The hit
It's whatever your
modifier?
intelligence modifier is.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a 24 to hit.
24 hits. Roll for
Nice.
damage.
Great. So I roll a D10. God,
After like a 16 hit.
what the hell is the D10? There it is. Okay, so that's 4 damage. But hit or miss, the shards then explode, and the target and each creature within 5 feet of that point make a dexterity saving throw.
Great. The table fails. And it cracks.
You fail.
And 19.
That's saved.
Does it take anything on a save?
No.
Great. So you see the shard of ice and it you see
worse.
these shattering and sort of icicles move them out.
Cool, 6 spell slot, bro.
Gave it the damage.
No, wait, why am I using this?
You gave it the business.
I did not give it any business.
You gave it a little bit of
Call
business.
is what I gave it. Okay. I think I'm going to hold there.
All right. Who's up?
Jillian.
Jillian's up. Great. Jillian just gonna take another shot. 12. That misses. Sort of sticks, and she's going to take a multi-attack, another arrow out of her quiver, and this time the arrow sort of glows, sort of a purplish color, and she fires it. Natural 20.
Yeah. Jillian's always got that.
And you can see as the arrow sticks in, the skin sort of starts to decay and peel, and it looks like the arrow was sort of a necrotic arrow, and it starts to eat away.
Does it seem like that's especially hurtful for us?
No.
Okay.
Sick.
She does 10 damage.
Good try.
Great.
How's it looking?
It's looking pretty beat up.
Oh, sweet. That's nice.
Great. That's Jillian's gonna stay there.
Graven. Could I conceivably, using that mirror in the corner, walk towards it and use a melee attack?
I'm gonna say no, because after you run up to it, your angle on the mirror will be changed.
Right.
You could try and make a ranged something from where you are, and with using the mirror.
And it's a constitution to kind of stare it down and go right
To
at it.
look right at it, yes, because you're close enough.
I'm just gonna run in. Okay.
Oh my God. You're a
Constitution
psycho.
saving throw.
Okay.
Psycho.
Constitution.
You are our healer.
Natural 20.
So you run for it, and you can feel the bits of stone start to peel on your skin, but sort of being familiar with that feeling from your stone's endurance, you just sort of run for it and sort of shake it off.
Yep, and I'm gonna, as I'm doing that, like, build up the necrotic energy in the mace and swing and inflict wounds at it.
Give it the real business.
Into the kind of the thickest part of the snake.
basically,
the meatiest of the meat.
It's all torso. It's all torso. It's snakes.
Little stumpy legs. It's mostly torso.
So that's just a melee attack. Melee attack spell.
Roll for it.
Okay.
Dumb. You all are dumb.
There's no pluses or anything, right? I'm just doing
Wayne a prayer, baby.
No, it's your wisdom modifier.
spell attack bonus.
Yeah, which is your
Plus
wisdom
4.
modifier.
Okay.
Okay, come on. Let's do it.
10 misses. You go charging forward, and the necrotic energy kind of spills out of the mace and dissipates across the room.
And that's probably all my movement because I have.
You have
30.
5 feet of movement left.
I have 5. I gotta stay there.
Oh no, gravy.
Gravy boy.
Okay.
Is it Wangami?
It's Wangami, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look away from it, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what? I think this, just in case, because I don't want him to die. I will wild shape.
Okay. What are you turning into?
Whoa.
That's cool.
That's so cool.
Just looking. Hyena.
All right. And you see him over there in the corner, like the paws start to come back out, and fur kind of erupts from his back, and he goes down on all 4. We're just gonna have this doesn't say it, but this is marking that you are wild shapen.
Can any of us in that corner see him doing this?
No.
I guess
Graven's Graven ducking away from it, sees it kind of happen over in the corner.
Cool.
That's a bonus action.
Yeah, so you can still move and attack.
I could
as
move
the,
and attack. What's my speed? 50.
He's a hyena. You turned into a hyena.
You have plenty of movement.
Right, yeah. Can I, I want to charge cross. I want to. I would love to get it backside or a flank. Like on top of that.
Sure.
That
in
purple
running
cable.
past it, are
He's
you
gonna take
averting your eyes?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna there's gonna be disadvantage. So I'm basically gonna assume
15,
remember where it is since it engages with Graven.
With the 50 speed of the hyena, you can get all the way around without looking at it.
I would love to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
The hyena's the dwarf. Don't attack it.
All right.
Yeah.
And give it an attack. It has like bite it under its action.
I don't want to bite it. I guess that's my attack.
I don't think you have a choice.
Yeah.
Great. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Yeah. What is that?
Under the bite attack, it has the plus to hit on it.
Plus 5.
Yep.
And
I'm gonna roll tonight, then.
Do better than me.
oh, that's 10.
10 misses.
Yep.
So you swing all the way around and you go and it sort of shifts its tail at the last moment.
Oh, goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
What's next?
Basilisk.
The Basilisk.
That's not good. That's
All
not
right,
good.
seeing
That's not
Graven
good.
charge forward, it's gonna sort of reach out and it sort of closes a giant jaw.
Oh, God.
Yeah, go ahead.
16 to hit.
Can I use Warding Flare?
Okay.
To give disadvantage on
Disadvantage
that.
on it?
Yeah.
The 16 was lower.
Cool. That hits.
That hits. All right. You take.
What are we doing?
You take 7 piercing damage
Okay.
and 8 poison damage.
That's bad.
Oof.
Wow.
Almost killed me.
Oh my god.
So it's sort of, you can feel the jaw. It doesn't have like sharp teeth, but it has this like almost beak-like jaw that sinks into your skin as it
Would
bites at
Stone's endurance reduce both of those?
you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not resistant to either types of those damage, right?
No.
Yeah, so it would you just assume total damage.
Total
yes.
damage. Okay, I'm gonna. Can I use both Warding Flare and Stone's endurance on the same?
Are they bonus actions? What are they?
Reaction?
And they might both be reactions.
You can use your reaction.
Yeah, so you can only use
can't
one.
use both.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you know how much you took there?
Yeah.
Great.
7 and 8. And I need a calculator. I'm dumb.
I took so much
15.
damage, I need a
Don't
calculator.
worry, I count on my fingers under the table.
Yep.
Just so you guys know.
Under the table.
I should just do it.
All right. Who's up?
I think it's. Oh no,
it's
it's
not.
Saphira.
Saphira.
Oh no, it is
Yeah.
me. It's
All right.
Go for the basilisk.
Okay, so seeing that Graven's just taking a lot of damage, I'm gonna equip another ensnaring arrow this time.
Ensnaring? Okay.
Yeah, this time I'm gonna do.
Make an attack.
Come on.
21.
Roll for damage.
Okay, so it takes the extra thing. For
Just
the-
roll your bow
So
first.
much
I'll do them
damage,
individually.
Okay.
So just do the
This is
bow.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Done here.
So
what does a bow do?
it's 8.
8. Okay.
Just
Roll
the
another
bow.
D8 for your Colossus Slayer.
Right. 3.
3, and then
And
roll a
then
D6 for your
D6.
Hunter's Mark.
2.
Good.
All right, Saphira, show us how it's
It dies with the ensnaring arrow. That was that one.
done. You can see the sort of ensnaring things wrap around it. And
seeing that was kind of a waste. She's kind of like.
That's the whole kill.
you get to act out the kill, not the reaction.
I'm disappointed. I can't do it. I'm disappointed.
You have a fancy camera. You're just mad. I'm just mad.
It's gone now. It's gone. We lost it.
That was the most Saphira possible kill.
That wasn't fair. And the room quiets as the beast sort of collapses onto one leg and then falls all the way forward.
Graven, stand up over it. What happened?
I don't know.
What the hell were you doing running up to it like that?
I'm saying what happened, what awoke it. We were doing so well.
Guess we didn't get through there as stealthily as we thought.
It looked like when Wangami dropped the mirror trying to help us through, it seemed, yes?
I'm still in my uniform.
Yes.
It looked like you can dispel it, but
I don't want to.
Okay.
Just because.
Yeah.
Then
limited times I can do it. I'm going to
understand me?
I'm going to try to gesture with my head while making my way towards that exit with urgency.
Sure.
Like
seems to think that there's more dangers in this room. I'm not sure. Gather the horses, and you start taking a little time to find them.
Feeling very
down a couple of
Graven, are you okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine. I'm gonna pick up a decent-sized shard of glass and put it in my bag.
Okay. Yeah. Take a shot.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea. I see him do that, and I do one too.
Sure.
Is there?
What do you have lit up? By the way, is your mace that's
Here's
lit?
my mace. Yeah.
Is there anything on the corpse that we can take? Like, when we break off a tooth, is there any saliva we can take?
Sure. Yeah. You could even. I mean, give me. Since no one said anything, give me a survival check.
I didn't say.
Survival is going to be 11.
11. Okay. Yeah. So you're familiar with the basics of the basilisk. So you also know that sort of the bile it produces is beneficiary to petrification, so you could take a second to cut it open.
So that would mean that it would be some sort of anti-petrification thing.
Yeah.
Perhaps? Great. Yeah, I'm gonna take a second then, I guess.
What kind of containers have you got there?
I have an empty jar.
Great. I'd love that.
Yeah.
Like a mason jar?
Were you jamming?
Preserves, actually. Yeah, preserves.
Can I
Boysenberry.
I don't I guess can I take like a dart to sort of get it started in its throat?
Sure.
Sort of like just hack it open a little bit.
Erland, do we really have time for this?
This might be useful if there's gonna be more of these petrification things.
Make a persuasion check. Make it with advantage.
Nat 20.
All right, let's make it quick. Help him. And she takes out a thing and starts to...
I kind of pace in that hallway,
Back and forth,
growling,
yeah.
looking nervous.
We're coming. 1
I
second.
have something to keep it in.
Great.
And I'll come over.
Who's trying to cut the bile out?
I only have a dagger, so can someone give me a dagger? Sorry, I only have a dart. Can someone give me a dagger of some sort?
I have one here, yes.
So I take
Right.
Orba's dagger.
Give me just a straight dexterity check.
I'll be there to catch the juices.
20. Dirty 20.
20, yeah. So as you cut it open, the sort of bile in the gullet starts to spill a little bit, and you sort of back, and you can see it sort of like it seems to have some sort of acidic properties to it. But you are able to. It doesn't seem like it burns through glass, so you are able to get some in the vial that he's got.
All right. Graven, do you want to keep that?
I'll keep it
as
for
the
now,
healer.
yes.
Be careful with that.
I flip the dagger around and pass it back to Orba.
Orba wipes it on a robe first.
Kind of burns through a little bit of your robe.
That's okay. Doesn't hurt me, does it?
No.
Okay.
Makes a little singe.
It's garbage anyways.
Great.
All right.
I go over to the coyote. Hyena.
I suppose we're pressing forward then.
I want to keep up the rear of the group.
Okay.
And kind of with because we're in how narrow is this tunnel that we're in?
The one you're like about to go
We're
in.
about to go
Again,
in.
it's sort of like big enough to walk
Like
through the
single
horse, but
file,
single
right?
file, yes.
So I'm gonna turn then the opposite direction and have my bow out.
Okay.
And just like walk backwards.
Sure. What kind of arrow have you drawn?
Regular.
Okay.
And I will be leading.
In
hyena with a certain amount of urgency, and just like immediately taking right in the next room.
Right. So peeking around the corner in sort of the next room, you see this chamber that looks like it was likely used as a kind of changing room and prep area. There's never mind, that's the room you're in.
Yeah,
There's a short tunnel. And then another alcove with a row of wooden racks, and there's pickaxes in poor condition that are sort of remaining there. It looks like this is where people got their tools before they would head into the mine shafts. And the layout is kind of these two semicircles. There's sort of organized by apparatus, perhaps, that like if you needed a shovel, you'd go through this little hallway. If you needed an axe, you'd go through this little.
Oh, cool.
So there's a couple little halls.
Okay.
And the miners filing through could walk down one corridor, grab a tool, and then return to a line that's sort of funneling. And it looks like the only exit out of this room you can see is out to your right. There's as Wangami I think said, there's a long hallway after.
Gestured.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, even before you
right,
transformed.
yeah, sure.
Can I go through one of those and grab like a shovel?
Sure. Make an investigation check.
Yeah, I grumble. She's wandering off.
She starts to move. Is it something?
No, I'll be fast. 1 second. I just want to look. Investigation. That is a 14.
14. So she starts to move in that direction, and you kind of take a look around. You have dark vision, yeah? So you sort of move, and you uncover a kind of box, and you sort of grab it. It's not locked, and you sort of flip it open, and inside there seems to be a bunch of pickaxes and shovels, and they're in very good condition. Like, not used, and definitely not as old as some of the pickaxes you've seen, around that have been broken or rusted.
Alright, I grab one pickaxe and one shovel.
Okay.
Is anybody, like, in my line of sight at the moment?
I was watching where you went with the light.
Okay.
There was, like, a little corridor, so you're probably out of sight of most people.
Can I, like, poke out?
Yeah.
Do I see you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we need those for something? They're rather heavy.
They're also rather nice.
All right.
Here, take a pickaxe.
Okay.
The shovel.
Keep moving in the longer hallway to the right.
We're coming.
Wangami, this beast form is going to be rather difficult to understand what you're trying to say.
Is there a reason you're... I don't know why I'm asking.
All right.
If you transform into a wolf, can you communicate with hyenas?
No.
I roll my
Well, there's only one other way through here, so I suppose we don't need his advice for that.
Okay. You're at the back of the party, right?
Mm-hmm. Just a sort of bow, sort of half-drawn,
Yeah.
sort of watching the back.
Cool, yeah, so Orba's gonna linger back with her to try to have just a quiet moment with Saphira.
Okay. As you guys are moving, you have a
Yeah,
quiet
so
moment
we're
here. Briefly,
moving forward.
yep.
Saphira, there was a whole box of these tools that are in better condition than anything I've seen. Could there be more activity in these mines than we think there is?
That was my original hypothesis, yes.
Okay, well, let's be ready for it then. Alright, that's it.
And you guys start to walk down this sort of long, narrow corridor. And it's not an uncomfortably tight squeeze, just sort of, it's the first path since you entered that kind of has that enclosed feeling that comes with working in a mine. This sort of departure from their rooms earlier that had a little bit of room to breathe. And even with the bright light coming from Graven's mace, the sort of length of the hallway plus a little bit of dips and bends, it makes it difficult to see all the way down to the end. And you walk slowly, a little bit, until finally a wall with a sharp 90-degree turn to the left. And it looks like there's a wooden sign at the end of the hallway. And so it's Wangami, who's behind him? Graven with the light?
I would imagine me. I suppose me.
And then Erland, and then Jillian, and then the two in the back.
Could I conceivably, she threw me the pickaxe?
Yeah.
Like, put that in where my mace would kind of be, so I don't have to like hold.
Yeah, we'll say. I mean, you've got your like backpack is not on the horse. You're still carrying that, so there's straps and things that you can.
So
you guys are still leading your horses through.
When we get that turn, before we go into the next room, because I'll stop in that corner, I will shift back.
You'll shift back. And you see him sort of stand.
Thank you.
I apologize for that. I saw it move. I saw it wake. But now I sensed and smelled. There's something in the next room that we're going.
Right now?
Right, yeah. They are fire newts.
What's
fire
that?
newts?
Fire newts?
Fire newts. Fire newts.
They've taken up residence in the mines here?
I was not aware of them before.
Graven, did you not grab a piece of mirror? Can you see past the corner?
In the 90-degree angle, kind of hold the mace.
Also, as you walk up, you can now see the sign as you're getting to the edge. It says assessment enclosure. Looks like the name of the next room. It's called the assessment enclosure. And using a little bit of glass.
Yeah, glass. Mace up here, glass kind of looking around.
You can see around the corner. It looks like there's a door just to the left as you turn the corner.
That's it?
You can't see past the door.
Right, but it's just hallway a door.
Yeah, like only a few feet after you turn, there's a door.
Just a door. Put the glass away.
It's not a big deal. Fire newts are easily frightened. If someone were to, perhaps you know, quite big and like, but you are wounded.
Whack them?
So, no, not whack them.
Scare them.
Scare them. Yeah. Give them.
Okay.
You're
like
wounded. You
scream and shout.
Well, yes.
Would I know anything about?
Make a survival check.
Trust anything that comes out of your mouth.
6. Fire newts are fairly specific to certain regions. It's not something that you've heard of them, but you don't know anything about them in particular.
Okay, how big are these things?
They're like.
Is scaring something with the word fire in its name while we're trapped in a mine really a brilliant idea?
Well, he says that if you scare them, they scatter.
They'll scatter back into their nests and their holes. And
all right, how many of them would mean trouble? Like, if we saw 4, not so big a deal. 10, scary.
Well, we have to get to the next room.
So what's on the other? What's on the other side?
I mean, there's a door down this hallway. That's it.
And then I could smell them. I had smelled them. I don't smell them now.
Now, hearing them talk about it, I'm gonna turn around and like, look. Can I see the sign from where I am?
Like looking over them because you were in the back.
Them, yeah.
Yeah, you can see it. It says assessment enclosure.
Can I get to like the end of the hallway so I can see the door?
Yeah.
How far away is the door?
Just another 5 feet after you turn the corner.
Great. I want to walk up to the door and give it like a listen.
Okay. Make a perception check.
19.
So the door, because it's kind of old and like the sort of planks are falling apart, there are little sort of slits in the wood. They can kind of peek, and it's dark in there, but you do see little glowing bits of red that kind of, and you see things kind of, and you can see them, and they look like they're climbing up the walls, and then they'll go down to the floor, so they can kind of climb around the room.
Can I get any sense of how many there are?
It looked you can't see the whole room. Yeah. You can see at least 3 from where you're looking.
Well, there's at least 3 of these glowing fire newts in there.
So you suggest I run in there,
Well,
scream
not
and
you,
shout.
but you're wounded.
Oh, I'm fine.
Alright.
Someone creates a noise, a
Create
distraction.
some noise, and we can quickly move through the room.
And you're telling us that the noise isn't going to cause them to, I don't know,
Become
squirt
hostile?
fire out of the, I don't know, how do they work?
The fire newts, they're on fire.
They breathe
fire. They breathe fire. They breathe fire.
I would like to be in the rear with some kind of spell ready in case they become hostile and don't run.
Yes, I imagine any of my fire magic would not be very useful against it, so
No, I've got some cold magic though.
good.
All right, so who can make the loudest noise, I suppose?
It could be pretty noisy.
You're pretty loud.
Okay, and hearing that,
She's going last. Oh, you?
no, hearing that she already started walking to the door. She's gonna walk to the door, and she's gonna with her best shot, kick it
Also,
open.
Erland's gonna take knowing that look in Saphira's eye. Erland's taking a step back.
I ready Ray of Frost for if a fire newt comes at Saphira as she opens the door.
Okay,
Can
if they
I,
just
like-
move in her direction.
Quickly?
It's gonna be hard to tell if it's a hostile movement towards her.
Well, then what are they gonna come up to me and sniff
say,
me? Is it a puppy?
"Hello."
Like what?
How about can I say Saphira, on your word, I will attack.
So I'm
That
gonna.
won't be a readied action.
Okay. I'll ready for when it approaches.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
You can specify a distance, like if it gets within 5 feet of her.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
Sure.
Great.
I'm gonna put my bow in my thing, get my sickle out
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't say I picked up, but I'm assuming I picked up next to where I left it.
Yeah, it was with your stuff.
Yes.
That was still in your bag, I think.
Yeah. And I'm gonna kick down the door, and while I'm doing it, just and I'm gonna kind of
This is crazy.
as loud as I can.
Give me an athletics check and a performance check.
Holding on my shield and my mace. And
Orba, are you
bang.
slugging a pickaxe
Yeah.
and shovel?
I have a shovel.
19 on
Alright.
athletics.
Okay.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, performance. I never 19.
Happy
Performance!
He kicks the door, and the door, like sort of in its old state, it just disintegrates. You gotta kicks it, and it like crumbles to the side. Make a performance check as well. You're clanging your mace against your
my
shield.
mace against my shield. Yeah, performance.
Give me another one.
15.
Yes.
15. So they run in, and she's sort of screaming, and the clang, 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 and you can see the newts. They're like up against the wall, and now that you're in the room, you can see there's 5 of them, and one of them they all kind of turn, and they blow a little bit of fire. Make initiative rolls for me.
I didn't even get my action triggered, did I?
No, they have not approached.
Stop
That'll
it.
do it.
Roll something else. Roll a d2 for all I care.
We're all clogged up in this hallway.
Jesus. 20 to 25.
22.
22.
Huh.
15 to 20.
I've only been helpful.
15.
Okay.
I've only been helpful.
Define helpful.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Erland
You guys
and
got
Graven
lost?
are both.
As far as I'm concerned, one fork in the road so far. And it was a small fork.
Oh boy. Graven, you got me as 15?
Yeah, we're both 15. 5 to 10.
9.
Were you running in with...
Yeah.
Okay, then
Raven
you
and
should
Safira are
go-
in the
You should go
room.
first then, conceivably.
Yeah. 9.
9.
What about those?
No, actually 6. I'm sorry. I forgot to add my thing.
Oh my god.
Spirit and Graven. This is where the door was. That is now.
9 and 6.
This was the long hallway you came
That's the
through.
exit.
So you were just behind them, I think, because you were at the door.
I was like at the door, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the door was here, but now it's crushed.
Oh, good.
What is
And then
Jillian
Jillian.
and the newts?
Jillian got a 10.
I can't believe my expo marker ran out of ink.
You were readying action near Safira.
Yes.
I was at the back.
And you were
so,
at the back. And the fire newts. Let me see what their modifier
Weird,
is
a
here.
fire newt. So.
There we go. 3 for the fire newts.
I do.
What,
It's alright, I go pretty close to it.
I get that pretty close.
Yeah, that was
Pretty good.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Oh, I hate so no, don't validate that.
Orba is getting erased.
Puns cost you 2 initiative.
No, that was a good one.
That actually wouldn't change her status on you. So,
Do it then. Actually,
Don't do it.
don't do it.
Something else might
New
come.
things might come.
That's true.
Norm.
All right.
Entre Norm.
Okay.
Who's up?
What's the order?
Wangami.
All right.
What's the
what's the
batting?
running order?
22, Wangami. 19.
You don't need to do the numbers.
Oh, right. And then Erland and Graven, Jillian, Orba, Saphira, Newts.
All right.
Oh, newts are last.
Yeah.
Last.
You got a chance here to
Okie
blow up some
dokie.
nits.
Little shits.
Blow them up.
I don't think they're gonna respond well to that.
Can you collect ammo? Like if you throw stuff, can you pick it up afterwards?
Sometimes, yeah. It depends. With a creature that like secretes, like if you hit the basilisk, that it has like an acidic kind of blood, and this is so it dissolves it a little bit. It depends. Sometimes is the answer to that.
Okay, who's first?
The fire newt's probably not, and you would kind of be able to know that because it kind of has this like burning skin. So,
it
after
probably
it sticks, it
dissolves.
kind of
Okay, cool,
yeah.
cool.
You would have a sense of that.
All right.
Wangami, what are we up to? Texting the DM questions.
No, I was trying to, this is really dumb. I was trying to figure out if those figures were from a board game.
They are
From not Clank. What's it
Mechs
called?
and Minions.
Mechs and Minions.
Yes.
I remember.
They're newts today.
I recognize it because it comes with like 1,000.
Yes, which is why I use them for little minions. Anytime there's a million of something, I use those. Yeah, you're up first.
Oh, great! I'm up first. Embrace clogged in the hallway. Great.
You can get by them.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I will get by them just to be more in the space. But
5, 10, 15.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
20. You have
Right.
line of sight if you have something ranged.
I really don't.
Number these guys.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
Nice.
I spend my time in. What is that?
It's just numbering them so I can keep track of who has
Right.
how much health.
Oh, that's so fancy.
Say. Sorry.
Oh, that
I
was.
think you have one ranged spell, don't you? Poison spray is a
I
cantrip.
do have poison spray. Yeah.
I think it's a cantrip too. It doesn't cost a spell
okay, great.
slot.
Is that what green?
Yeah, it's one of those.
Great,
It's
great.
called, I think it's purple. One of the purple ones. Poison.
No, purple. Oh yeah. Oh, so it's cantrips?
Yeah, so that doesn't cost a spell slot.
Oh, so the entanglement did.
I don't think that's a cantrip. At the top, does it say the level? Top
Oh,
right?
0. No,
yeah.
there you go. Great. Yes, I can. It's only 10 feet though.
It only has a 10-foot range.
Yeah.
Boy, what a po-ass.
Yeah, what a
you can.
So I will get up, but like I will clear.
Dog shit
Yeah,
spell.
I will clear like
You
this
can.
side
Yeah,
within.
you still have 10 feet of movement. So you can get. Oh wait, no. What is your movement?
Oh, that's no. That was
25.
as wolf. My movement is
25.
Okay,
25. So I'm
you
going
can
back.
get there.
Yeah, so not.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just gonna there.
You stay there.
Yeah, it'd be there.
Okay.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Great. You can ready an action.
Yes.
Also, so if one of the newts
Yeah,
approaches Saphira
yeah,
or
I'll just
Graven.
ready my scimitar action.
Okay, so they would have to get within 5 feet. Of
Then
you.
I'll ready poison spray.
Great. So if it gets within 10 feet,
Yeah,
you make
Ready
that
that dog shit cantrip.
Yeah, you ready that shitty ass cantrip. Who's next?
Next.
Erland and Graven. I got the same.
You can decide
So-
who goes.
I mean, you.
I
ran
guess
in,
I'm
that'd
the
be
closer one,
conceivably-
yeah.
Sure.
Seeing that they didn't run away, I'm gonna heal myself really quick.
Could be a different type of fire newt.
Maybe.
That's what everything I know about fire newts. Everything I was told about fire
Led us
newts.
to this point.
They do not like noises.
1d8 plus my
Just telling you what I've been taught.
Didn't see real.
Okay.
Oh, what a scout.
What are you using? Sorry.
Cure wounds.
Oh,
on
you're curing
myself,
yourself.
Yeah. 3 plus my spellcasting ability.
Which is your wisdom.
3 plus 2 is 5. So,
That's something.
5 hit points.
A little bit of healing energy. Do you want to move at all?
No.
Okay. You've still got your lit mace.
Exciting
Yeah.
start.
Yep. They didn't run. They're still here.
Okay.
Erland.
I can make you some good
Okay,
damage.
I'm gonna go. Are they when they like turned and breathed fire at us? Did it Did it seem like they could do that at great distance? Are they large enough that it seems?
Yeah, so it didn't seem like they made like a full. It was kind of like a warning. They were like breathing a little bit of fire. It was hard to gauge how far they would be able to. You couldn't get a sense of that.
Okay, I am gonna go. I got 40. I'm gonna go like 5, 10. Can I get around Wangami there?
Yeah,
15?
you can also go through them. You can pass through
Okay,
someone's
great.
space. Yeah.
I'm gonna park myself like right here.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20.
And I'm going to ready, and I'm gonna sort of like wind up with the quarterstaff and ready a baseball bat swing if one gets within range.
Okay. Great. Action ready. So we have 2 readied actions.
Yep. Sorry. Jillian's next is what I was gonna say.
Whoa, didn't she roll really bad? Did everyone roll bad?
Yeah, they rolled really bad. Jillian got a 10.
Which doesn't matter when everybody rolls.
All right, Jillian. 15, 20. She's gonna back up here into the corner. She kind of runs in while drawing an arrow, and she's gonna take a fire at the closest one, number 1 there. Natural 1. So she's kind of running and she tries to shoot in sort of motion, and it goes flying to the other side. That's it. She's gonna stay there.
Orba.
Okay, I have line of sight of number 2, correct?
Yes, you do.
Great, so Orba's gonna have her crystal. She's gonna put the shovel down for now.
You can just throw it.
Yeah, just plays it down on the ground carefully and cautiously.
It shatters into a million pieces.
Don't do that. And she's gonna cast Ray of Frost at number 2.
Okay.
So, okay, wait, how do I say this? Tisufaya! And she's gonna cast it. And that's a natural 1!
That misses. She concentrates on saying the name of the spell, and Ray of Frost goes flying.
Move along. Wait,
Moving.
yes, actually, can I get, like, right behind Erland, actually? Like, next to Jillian?
Love that.
Look at this formation.
Stay down, monk. That's all I've got. I'm done.
Who's up?
Saphira.
Okay.
Saphira busts in screaming, and all the newts turn to her.
Imagine how mad she is right now. She's so angry.
Oh, I can
She's
begin.
the closest one to her is 1.
Yep.
Right. So I'm gonna make a huge swipe with my sickle.
Great.
At that one.
Make an attack roll.
13 to hit.
13 hits. Roll for damage.
Okay. What's D4 again?
Yeah, a little pyramid.
Yeah. 5 damage.
Great. That was number 1. Great.
Yes.
Great. So you run forward, and you can see as you slash, a little bit of like charred embers kind of hit off of the skin, and it kind of like recoils.
And then I think I know it's actually no. I'm just gonna stay there. I'm not gonna move anywhere.
All right.
Good job.
Newts.
The newts.
Boy.
All right, so that one sort of seeing you come up and attack, it's gonna immediately sort of and like go for a little attack right back at you. That's its tongue flickering. 12 to hit.
12 misses.
So that one takes a swipe and misses. This one's gonna make a beat for Graven there. And that's within 10 feet of your ready.
Below it.
spray. Is it a save or an attack roll?
It is. Creature must succeed in Constitution saving throw.
Constitution save?
Yep.
4. That's a fail, I'm sure. It's your spell save DC,
Which is 11,
which is like
right?
11 or
Yeah.
something. So it fails. So what does it take?
1d12.
1d12. Go ahead and roll 1d12.
Help him find a D12.
That's number 2.
Oh yeah, you can.
Oh, never mind.
Right.
Who am I to presume?
3.
3 damage, great.
And that's poison.
So he sort of has it ready and releases a torrent of poison that hits it. And you see like the steam running off of it from the poison hitting it. It's going to take a swipe at Graven. 19 to hit.
That will hit.
That'll hit. And you take 3 fire damage.
Okay, little baby hits.
And it's gonna take 1 swipe and take another quick
Oh,
swipe.
never mind.
Okay.
Multiple baby hits.
12 to hit.
Misses.
Great, so after hitting the first time, Graven kind of slides back out of its reach. Okay, so that was 2 of them. This third one is the one that when Safira busted in, it opens its mouth and it's gonna shoot a little torrent of fire at you. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Come on, be dexterous.
18.
18 saves, so you take half damage. You take 6 fire damage. Oh my god.
That's half damage?
That is half damage.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So it sort of shoots a little torrent of fire, and then it's gonna sort of run.
Oh, it would be so cute if it wasn't such a dick.
I know.
It's gonna stay there. And this one's gonna move forward. Have to get within its feet there. And that one kind of shoots make another dexterity saving throw.
Oh my god, Saphira. Jesus.
Oh, I'm the dumbass that ran in there.
Yeah.
21.
21, that saves.
Noise.
You take 4 points of fire damage.
Jesus Christ. Jeez, these things are mean.
And
Ow.
this one sort of like quickly across the ground, and it's gonna climb kind of up the wall and then down the other side. And this one's gonna shoot a torrent of fire at Graven. Dexterity saving throw. 6. 6 fails. You take the full 9 fire damage.
Oof. Oh my god. No more natural
sort of-
ones, guys. No more natural ones. Please.
And that's the last one.
Wangami.
Great. I will move towards the wall and attack 5 with the scimitar.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Make an attack roll.
Ooh, 20.
Natural 20?
Yep.
That hits.
Yeah,
Roll for damage.
These. Oh, no. 6 plus 2 slashing. 4 total.
So double the die first, because it's a critical hit.
4,
Plus
6 total.
6 total, great. And what number was that?
That was 5.
5.
Great. Great, so yeah, you take a running step and you kind of slash, and a little bit of the newt's like, it makes like a little tear in its kind of sort of amphibious skin. Great. Anything else? Moving anymore?
Yeah, take a step back.
It would get to attack you. If
No,
you
then
step
I
back.
will stay over here. Great.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
Me.
All right, what you doing?
Takes a big deep breath
Yep.
and starts to just harness some sunlight in his hands and blow out radiance of the dawn from everything 30 feet
That's all of
within.
them?
Yep, 30
Is it
feet
just
radius.
enemies?
Each hostile creature.
Hostile creature.
Okay, that's good.
So they all-
Saphira just gets a
Constitution saving throws.
For all of them?
Yes.
All right, we'll do them in numerical order.
Here, I'll mark them.
Yep. Let me see. Okay. 4.
Fail.
Number 2. Natural 1 fails. 16 for 3.
Save.
Number 4, 13.
Save.
And number 5, 6.
Fail.
So 1, 2, and 5 failed. Okay.
So it's 2d10.
You're gonna blow these guys up.
So the room kind
so.
of this brilliant
Roll
radiant
It's
flash.
gonna
Well,
some
Graven.
giant speak. Mat il. And like, oh, come on. Okay, 11.
So it's 11.
11 plus my cleric.
You average that.
Cleric level.
Yeah,
Which
which
is
is
3.
3. So 14.
14 for 1, 2, and 5.
Yeah, and half as much on the successful. So 10, 11, 12,
7 for the
14,
other 2.
Yeah, 14 and 7.
Okay. So this flash of light, and everyone has to kind of look away as blinding, brilliant radiance. And when you open your eyes, there's just like steaming little wisps where 1, 2, and 5 were.
Nice.
That one's toast.
I love it. It makes me so happy.
That one's toast, and that one's
Oh, look at them go. What a
Peace. There you
And the
go.
other ones are sort of blinking off the light.
Oh, that's so cute. That's adorable.
Mom!
Don't say mom.
The family.
I have to retreat for now. I'm gonna take. I haven't moved yet, right? So I'm gonna take maybe 15.
15.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Just 20.
20?
Yeah.
Okay.
Erland.
Erland.
Yeah, do something useful.
I'm protecting our spellcasting.
Is Wangami saying that?
Wait, what?
Which one of these two took damage prior to Graven's attack?
Neither.
Neither?
Yeah, we hit the other.
Okay.
Graven limps out into the corner.
slowly fading.
Yeah, the light.
25. Oh, so if I were to leave that one, I would get an attack of opportunity. Great. I am going to. And what's Saphira's deal if someone thinks within 10? Oh, you already have your sickle out. It doesn't matter. You have your sickle out. Great. Erland's going to run right here in between Saphira and that thing.
20.
And he's going to, as he's running by, he's going two-handed quarterstaff. I guess they're small, so like
they're pretty low to the ground. Sure. Croquet mallet style.
Yeah. 8 to hit.
8 does not hit.
All
so
right.
it kind of flattens itself against the ground as you run by.
Great. So then, missing that, I'm going to just use my extra unarmed strike and swing down on it.
Great. Attack.
13 to hit.
13 hits. Roll for
Nice.
damage. This is number 3.
5 bludgeoning damage.
Bludgeoning damage. So you sort of miss the swipe, and then and it makes like a little squish noise with the top of its head. It's not dead, but it looks pretty beat up.
Is it anybody standing next to you that you get disadvantage on ranged, or is it just enemies standing next to you?
Enemies standing next to you.
Okay. All right. So
Unless your allies are waving their hands in front of your face.
I don't know. This one over here.
That's my turn.
Or you.
Okay. Who's up?
I'm short.
Jillian.
Jillian's up. Great. Jillian's gonna sort of seeing she was sort of about to take out like an arrow that looked like it had some more tendrils of energy, but seeing that 3 of them just got obliterated, she kind of puts that one back and takes out a regular arrow. She's gonna shoot at 3, the one Erland just hit. 13 to hit. That hits. And great. So she takes it out. It kind of sticks into the skin and it flattens against the ground.
Nice.
All right. Who's up?
Who's up, Graven?
Orba.
Okay, Orba's gonna hunker down and cast Ray of Frost again, but at 4.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say it this time, because the last time I did it,
You
sounded
gotta
cool, and I rolled.
say it.
If I roll another
It
natural
has verbal
one,
components. You
I'm
have to say the
really
verbal
upset if I roll
components.
another natural one. Alright, so she's gonna go, Safira! That's an 11 to hit.
11 misses.
I am never doing that again. I'm never doing it again.
Should I have just said it?
Orba's actually gonna run toward Graven.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20. Like there.
Are you okay?
Not really. Not really.
Okay.
I can't take another hit.
Okay.
Newts. Saphira.
I've got you.
Okay. Does it take an action for me to take my bow out?
To put your sickle
Put my
away and
sickle
then
away
take a bow out.
take my
Yes.
bow out?
It's a sickle.
Okay, I want to do something kind of crazy. Can I take one of the ensnaring arrows, and I'm going to go with it in my hand, I'm going to go for a non-lethal attack on this one.
Oh my god!
Yes, you can do that. So,
I'm not kidding.
so presumably, yes, you can. So you're gonna stab him
I'm
with
gonna
an
stab
arrow?
him with an arrow, but in a non-lethal place. So I'm looking for
Okay.
like.
I mean, he has enough hit points that you're not gonna one shot kill him.
I'm not trying to like actually
Sure.
hurt him even that bad. I'm just trying to like literally stab him.
Make
in
an
one
attack
place.
roll, and add your dexterity, but not your proficiency, because you're just using an arrow. It's not like a real weapon.
Oh no.
Just gonna make
this
an enemy
is
instead.
I know. 10.
10. What's your armor class?
15.
15. So that misses. So you go up for and he sees you kind of coming with this arrow, and he sort of dodges out of the way.
I just can't even imagine.
Oh
You see her turn away from the enemy and start running towards you with an arrow.
Yeah. Okay.
So you still, because it didn't
great.
make contact and you still have it in your hand, it still has the magical properties. So you didn't lose that arrow.
Okay.
no. Oh my god.
If you had made contact,
I
it
didn't
might
think
have.
so. That's one of the reasons I held it.
All right, who's up?
I don't know. Who's after Saphira?
Newts.
All right, well,
Newt
Newt's
just
gonna
leaving
turn.
the room now.
It's gonna turn towards Erland.
Sorry.
Make a dexterity.
Erland is dead.
40 damage.
13? Oh, sorry, dexterity save?
Yeah, dexterity.
13.
Yeah, that saves. You take 4 fire damage. Is that up?
Sorry.
You see the room kind of light up again.
Something sus going on. Oh my god.
And that's it.
Wangami.
Actually, it's gonna kind of skitter back.
Top of the lineup. Wangami.
Jesus fucking Christ!
And you can see Jillian in the corner. She's kind of waving. Enough! Enough! Neutralize the threat. That's all she can kind of say.
Yeah, I will try to just run by her. I don't think I can reach it even. 25. No. So I'll just run.
Attack of opportunity.
If you want it.
What? No.
No. She.
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she wants it. Great.
I want it.
Great. Yeah.
Make an attack roll.
I want it.
Jillian's gonna be so mad.
Same thing with your dexterity.
Dexterity. 20. It's dirty 20.
20 hits.
Good hit. So put me back next to her.
Yeah, so he's.
You
So
use
we'll
an
give the
ensnaring
ensnaring arrow.
No, that's the newt.
That's the new.
Oh, yeah. The newt flies across the room.
Yeah.
It's
Did you
actually.
tell me not to make
So you ensnare me. Yeah.
Read the ensnaring arrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of us has to be crazy. If a creature takes damage from this arrow, the target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained by magic until the start of
Okay,
their
so
next
he's not
turn.
necessarily. So first of all, roll the damage.
Yeah. I don't. It's
This is going to be an improvised weapon. It's not going to be the same as your bow. So roll 1d4 plus your dexterity modifier.
Okay.
Actually, plus your strength modifier. 'Cause it's a melee.
Oh my god. Where's my? Is this strength? Just strength. Just strength. Okay. 5.
You take 5 piercing damage,
Okay.
and then make a strength saving throw.
Those are up here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Straight.
13.
What's the DC on that? It's going to be 10 plus your spell casting, which is wisdom.
Okay. It's 10.
10, so he saves. So you are able to run by, although you feel a little stick in your side as you run by.
Oh my god.
You get within 10 feet. You can't melee attack it, but you could poison it again.
Sure.
That's a saving throw, Constitution. I think it's his Constitution.
Oh yeah.
saving.
Constitution saving.
5. That fails.
Right.
So roll the damage for that.
So let's see, 12 again.
Things I didn't think would happen today.
Listen.
6 poison. 6 poison damage. Great. So you sort of a jet of poison comes out. Show us how it's done.
The poison just sort of spits out, and I kind of go bitch over my shoulder.
She's like,
We come back.
I hate
Fantastic.
So is the arrow sticking out of my shoulder, or is it jammed and out?
I don't know.
No, she kind of stuck it and pulled it.
Right.
Yeah, so it's out of you. So the din kind of quiets.
So Erland, seeing him yelling at Saphira, he's running up and just trying to put a hand on him, and he wants to get in between them.
And Jillian starts to come up to you. What the fuck is going on?
I don't know.
Either you're an imbecile or you're trying to kill us. Which one is it?
I'm in between them, like, holding.
I am not trying to get you killed. I am
Then
trying to
you're
get
an
you safe
imbecile
through.
then, and you're useless to us. What the fuck is going
Fine,
on?
take your own way. Find your own way through this mine if you wish. These newts surprised me, and I did not expect that reaction. They do not act like fire newts I've ever seen.
Make a deception check.
Yes.
Can I make an insight check on that as well, or like can I? Or, sorry, can I, like,
make
see
an
if
insight
that's,
check. Make
correct?
an insight check.
As they're yelling, Orba's like pulling out a healing potion from her bag.
8.
8. You have your inspirations if you want.
Yes.
You're gonna use one of them.
One fall off. One that fell.
We used that one. That's fine. Go ahead and roll again.
Okay.
I want to figure out how much longer we're going to be in these tunnels first before I
Okay,
use
but
that.
you're alright.
Same.
Okay. You get the sense that he was lying about that.
Get this in. Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool.
That he knew more about the newts than he's letting on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're lying. Your friend Kelsetra, you said you trusted her. I don't think you do trust her anymore.
I do trust my friend.
Then who the
Kelsetra.
fuck are you?
I am just a simple druid.
What exactly were you trying to do?
Enough, Safira. Answer me honestly. Are you trying to get us killed?
I am not trying to get you killed. I promise you, I guarantee you, I'm not trying to get you killed. That would be the worst thing. Cassandra is a very important client of mine, and I would never, never, never betray her.
Can I see if he was trying
Can I
to
roll
get
the
us
check?
killed?
Can I roll?
Make
Can
an
I?
insight check.
I'm gonna walk up to him.
Hold on.
Okay.
1 second.
So, I'm asking whether or not it seems like he is trying to get us killed. If that's interesting. So my insight was 22.
It seems like he was telling the truth that he's not trying to get you killed.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk up to him and pull a Winston here and
Oh my
grab him
god.
by your clothes here and just lift you up to my own height.
And at that moment, Jillian. Graven.
I see you work all well together. Must be a tight-knit group.
How much longer are we going to be in these tunnels?
We have 2 more rooms before we get to the upper ramp.
Before we get to the upper ramp.
I guarantee you,
Graven.
it is an easy shot to the upper ramp.
Orba
down.
puts her hands, on Graven's arms.
I'm down.
Look, I apologize.
Why did you lie? Speak carefully.
And we're gonna go to break there. So we have some time to decide what he's gonna say.
Oh, boobies.
And we'll bring it right back after that. We'll dive right back into the mines. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yes.
We'll be right back.
Hey, Dragons in the Night, great, guys.
Hey. You guys, welcome back.
Also, Leah's in the chat. So
We'll take a quick 15-minute break. We'll be back.
See you
Thank
soon.
you guys so much.
Oh, boy.
It's
Spicy.
drop her bow. Alright. What is going on? Kelcetra doesn't vouch for morons.
I understand. It's my family. The Black Lion have my family. Alright? They wish to reclaim this mine. And because I know it and they don't, they told me to try to clear it. I thought I could potentially use you to clear the mine. I apologize, I am sorry. But it's my family.
Next time you begin with that information. The Black Lions have your family. Who's your family?
What? My parents, the Dulcets.
Why do the Black Lions have your parents?
What? Because we had moved here. We were outcasts from where we were.
Where was that?
What? Dilosun. Up in Dilosun. It's a small village. It's a podunk village in Dilosun.
Was there a
Outside
reason?
of, but yes. Dilosun's big. It's a village outside.
Village outside.
Was there a reason that your mother and father were captured by the Black Lions?
Because we were trying to secure safety here. We were traveling here. They've had them
Encroaching
for months.
on their territory.
Yes. Yeah, they've had them for months. We didn't know.
Where do they have them?
What?
Where do they have your parents?
Deeper in where the direction you're going, to be fair.
You have reason to believe that if you clear this mine out, they will give them back.
Yes.
The Black Lion have your parents in this mine?
No, not in this mine. No.
If he clears the mine, they'll release his parents from wherever they are.
And how will you communicate that to them, that the mine has been cleared?
Well, I'm supposed to approach them afterwards in a couple of days.
Why not lie?
Why not lie? Because they will easily be able to come here and check it out.
What are their purposes in this mine? Do you know?
I don't know. It's a dead mine. There's nothing in it. Perhaps it's an encampment.
Make a deception check.
Oh!
15 plus. Yes. So 18.
Jesus.
As far as you guys can tell, it seems pretty true.
There's obviously nothing in here.
Well,
they want it. There's new.
So now you've lied to us.
I don't know. Maybe they're using it to get, as the same way you are using it to get from one place to another.
I don't see how we trust a word that he says.
No, that makes sense, Safira.
Sure, it makes sense, but how useful are you to us now? Now what you've done is used us to do the Black Lion's bidding.
I do not want to get you killed. Your halfling friends are waiting at the end of this.
Well, you nearly succeeded.
Well, if we die, and it's on his watch, Kelcetra will have his head.
I promise to be on. Yes, exactly.
Okay, so from now on, when we advance, you give us proper information.
Yes, I will. No more.
What else is in here? Do you know that at least? Speak the truth.
I believe there's something of intelligence. A person, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe more than one.
A
person? Near the
person?
end. Near
What
the
kind
end.
of a black lion?
It could be. I
What
don't
do you mean
know.
it could
What
be?
language were they
spellcaster?
speaking?
I don't even know. I just
Common.
heard
You did hear.
common. They're speaking common. Great, I heard it.
So you scouted this whole thing before?
Yes.
And you heard something speaking common?
Yes.
Down here on the lower level?
Yes, but I could not make out.
Or up on
clearly.
the upper level?
Upper level. We're almost out of the lower level.
So your plan is to have us clear out this mine, report to the Black Lions wherever they may be.
Well, now I don't know what I will do. Clearly that's not going to happen, and clearly my parents will die, So
this thing that's taken up residence in the mine, some people perhaps, unlikely Black Lions if they're speaking common.
Correct.
So the Black Lions want them out for some reason. Perhaps it's not the mine itself, but the creatures inside it.
How many people did you hear speaking?
It was hard to tell.
Hard to
More
tell.
than one person,
One
but
was speaking to someone.
Well, the way I see it, at least for the lower level and any other creatures that we pass, we're going to have to destroy them anyways.
Jillian,
So we can help you as far as that.
do we clear out the mine, or do we try and proceed with caution and secrecy?
you're saying we proceed simply at our best guess without our guide.
I'm simply asking, do we assist him?
These people that have moved into the mines, or creatures, whatever they are, There's something in here that somebody wants.
Yes.
We have 2 different entities trying to come into this mine at the same time. A mine that's been abandoned for years. That seems unlikely.
But whether it's just storage or whether there actually is something to be mined here.
Who stores something in a mine in the Shaki Mountains?
I don't know. We did see new pickaxes and shovels, so...
Maybe they found something valuable that hadn't been turned up in the original mine.
This was an adamantium mine, yes? You said?
Yes, originally.
And maybe it's been so updated that the layout isn't even what you know of it.
Oh, I was through here recently.
Another lie.
The upper level as well, or just down here?
Upper level. That's where I heard the voices.
Does Kelsetra know that your family's taken?
No.
Could this also be possibly used for similar purposes as what we're going to discover at the other location?
I don't know. If the Black Lions want to take up residence here, I'm not sure I want to allow them to do that. On the other hand, I don't know who it is that's up there to begin with.
Do we have the means to destroy this place as we exit it?
How sturdy are the walls?
Pretty quite.
Is there a way around wherever these people are? Is there a route you can take that does not lead you past them?
It is much longer and dangerous.
What kind of danger?
That is the portion that has collapsed.
So we're digging our way through.
What?
So we're either passing through this area or we're digging our way through.
Right.
Jillian, does it not seem of interest for us to know what sort of people have taken this mine, given its proximity and location?
Perhaps. So perhaps we go to this spot where you've heard the voices, try and find out their intentions. Is that our plan?
Try to find out their intentions, and then if not, what would you have us do? Kill them?
I don't know who those voices are.
Bribe
We've
them
cleared
to
out. As far as I know,
leave.
you've now cleared. As far as I know, you have cleared out the mine. I don't know what those people there. It seems unlikely they are Black Lion, or if they were already in here.
So if not kill them, you need us to get them to vacate the mine.
Yes.
How far away is your family being kept, do you know?
I don't know. They have many camps.
Who do you
in the
report to
hills.
then?
That's why you were tracking it. What?
Who do you report to once you've cleared out the mine, in theory?
There's a man named Hendrix.
Hendrix?
Hendrix.
And he's a Black Lion?
Yes.
How long have they
That's
had
the name
your
he gave
parents?
me. I don't know. What?
How long have they had your
A
parents?
month.
So for a month you've been communicating with the Black Lions.
No, I went on and off, not
Reporting
directly.
to this man,
Do you have reason to
Hendrix?
believe they're even still alive? Could they be dead already?
I don't know, but I have to believe they are alive.
And where is this Hendrix?
What?
Where is this Hendrix?
They contact me. They find me. You saw the Black Lions.
What other tasks do they have you doing?
What?
Anything?
What? Just scouting. Just knowing if I see something happening. I apologize. I'm sorry. If you wish not to have me not be your guide, I understand.
Are you likely to report our presence?
No. I will not.
Does that sound truthful?
Yeah.
Make an insight check.
Did I beat you to it?
Yeah.
I beat you to a punch. Insight. 13.
It does seem truthful. It seems like, especially, you've heard Jillian mention Kelsetra's name a couple times, and his reaction to her saying that, it does seem like he fears Kelsetra's discipline, wrath, whatever it is. It seems like the relationship is. Kelsetra presumably has some influence, and it seems like he's under the impression that he does not want to get on Kelsetra's bad side.
Do you have a good relationship with your mistress, Kelsetra?
She's not my mistress. She is someone who
Whoever
hires me.
she is to you, do you have a good relationship?
I did. I doubt I do now.
So you didn't want to ask her for help? Save your parents?
Kelsetra's not someone you ask for help from.
You just deceive people and get it that way.
You realize we might have been more inclined to help you had you been upfront.
I doubt Kelsetra would have given him the job if she knew.
I don't know how long you wish to have this discussion. I don't know how long you wish to leave your halfling friends at the top of
Oh, she's fine.
All right. We head to the upper level. Is there a way to approach this room that the intelligent creature's in? Is there a way to approach it without being seen ahead of time?
Yes. Are there any other rooms with beasts in them before the people that we're gonna try and figure out who they are?
No, maybe a raccoon or something.
Oh God, not the raccoon, please, no.
You just said the worst thing you could have.
And Jillian kind of looks at you. Is that something I need to know?
No,
I don't think so.
Well,
the raccoon's dead on Saphira's.
Still hanging on her
They
belt.
were terrified of this, and I'm just gonna kind of hold it up.
Orba puts it down.
It's fine.
Right.
So, no beasts on the way to this room.
No. And I think you may wish to treat your friend.
Well, I know I'm only one voice, but I wouldn't mind if we tried to help Wangami here.
That is much appreciated.
Yes, well, I'm not so much interested in helping Wangami as I am finding out who's operating this mine.
And denying the Black Lions.
Well, sure.
All right. For now, we follow.
And you will give us every piece of information you have.
Understood.
I'm sure we don't need to add an or to the end of that sentence.
I understand the implied intent.
Perfectly clearly.
Good.
Shall we move?
Berries? Those are good berries!
Did you cast good berries?
Yeah.
You see the magical berries like appear in his hand.
Oh wait, you got this now!
I was not familiar.
They're just berries?
They're magical berries. You see him like conjure them.
They've got some dirt on them.
Do these do anything positive?
Very mind healing and they fill your stomach.
I'll take a berry, yes.
They're healing, Graven. Why don't you?
Take a couple.
Take
a few. Take 5.
Do they heal you?
Yes.
No.
How much?
A little bit.
Can I have
They give you a number.
Can I have one?
Yes.
How many berries get created?
10.
I'm not
Eat
taking
this.
10?
Eat this right now.
No.
Saphira,
Here's my
I am not.
She's gonna walk to the other end of the room.
Orba's gonna grab you. I am not watching you get knocked unconscious one more time. You will eat this berry. Eat it.
I'm like looking at her. I'm looking at him.
Eat it right now.
I've never seen Orba.
If you,
do
I give you 1, you 1, I give you 5, I take one of the 3 remaining.
He eats it
Fine,
ahead of
so
you.
I'll make direct eye contact with him the whole time. I like
They
it.
heal 1 hit point per berry.
1 hit point per berry.
So I had
hate you so
5.
I eat the other 2.
Berries.
All right. I'm also gonna take.
But if nothing else, it seems genuine in wanting to keep us alive. I suppose we realize the reason for that now.
Sorry. I'm gonna take the greater healing potion.
Okay.
So
44 plus 4.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
12, and then another 5 for the berries.
Yes. Yes. All right.
Shall we?
Slowly.
And you guys begin to walk, and Jillian steps
I
in
will-
front of Saphira.
Oh god.
If you have a stab another one of my guides, without my say-so,
Yes.
we'll be leaving your corpse on the ground. Is that understood?
Next time, maybe you should get a more useful guide.
You realize that the number of people who know their way through the Shaki Mountains is approaching 0.
I do, and you realize that he's a fucking liar, don't you?
Liars can still get you through the mines.
Yes.
Don't.
But he was lying to you, and you didn't see it. I did.
Well, the next time, tap me on the shoulder. I start to walk. You were
Orba
gonna
goes
say
to pick up her shovel.
No.
again.
I will lead. I will walk forward in the head. I assume that's a
Second in line with a light.
3rd behind Graven.
And you guys continue. Sort of now you've regained the horses, walking them through. And the next place you go into has a number of sort of stone basins. And it looks like a number of buckets as well. And this room seems like it was used as a sort of scrubbing off or some kind of cleaning station. You can't tell either whether it was cleaning like sort of stuff off of yourself or if it was for when you found like a chunk of mineral or something to sort of wash it, clean it, and see sort of what you had in terms of like sort of bringing it out, determining its wealth value, whatever it is. You pass by these sort of rows of stone basins on either side.
Continue to the left.
Anything look like it's newer? Anything look like it's been used?
Make an investigation check. You can make one as well.
Yeah, my investigation is not good. 11.
15.
You guys take a peek around. Everything in here looks not new at all. The basins are dirty, dusted. The buckets, most of them cracked. The sort of iron bands around the buckets are all rusted over. Nothing in here seems recently touched at all.
Well, it seems in this entire lower level so far, other than that chest that Orba found, everything around here is useless. It's been overrun by these beasts, so they must only be using the upper level.
Was the chest locked, Orba?
No, it wasn't. But it was just filled with seemingly new shovels and pickaxes. That's all I saw.
In an unused mine. That's interesting.
Are there like... Can we see any like adamantium? I don't know what that looks like, but
yeah, adamantium.
Can we see
like
veins of anything in the mine?
Make a history check.
They all go badly.
We're saying adamantium.
Adamant is the name of the actual mineral, and adamantium's an alloy with other metals as well.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Dirty 20. You take a look, and it looks like there's a couple things. First of all, you don't see anything that resembles a vein at all. It looks like parts of the walls have been carved out to sort of possibly search, but also this part of the mine is all rooms with functions. Right. It's possible that on the upper level, those are where like the shafts are, where they did the bulk of the mining. In here, it looks like these were mostly like functional rooms, not mining rooms. You get that impression. We're taking left, you said.
Yes.
And Jillian kind of peeks. And down to the right, where does that take us?
What? That winds back around, back towards the other direction, collapsed areas.
And Jillian kind of looks at you. Make a persuasion check.
Poor.
How poor?
Persuasion 6 total.
Brings us back to the entrance of the mine.
Eventually, yes.
But right now it's caved in.
What? There are portions that are caved in around that area. It'll be rough going. I guarantee you, this is the shortest direction to the ramp up.
And you're not worried there's things that you need to clear out down there?
No, here, no. Oh, down that way? No.
Yes, anywhere. Anywhere.
No, there's nothing to clear down over there.
Does it seem like it's the shortest direction?
Make an insight check.
Oh my gosh, so many insight checks.
Nat 20.
Oh, Jesus.
It does seem like it's.
I'm gonna sort of put
Seems like he's sufficiently had a little bit of fear struck into him.
I'm gonna put my hand on Jillian's shoulder, seeing she's unswayed by that. I do believe him in this instance, Jillian.
I suppose at this point there isn't much incentive to lie. She says that quietly to you. All right, lead on. And you guys start to move.
Good. So yes. Great.
And you kind of go. You take that left.
Take that
and now
left.
you're headed sort of where you see the sixes
Right,
kind of
yeah,
walking
yeah,
past
yeah,
that. But a
yeah,
lot of
that's
that is caved in. So as you guys are walking, sort of on your right, it looks like there are a couple offshoot passages, but they are very clearly caved in. The ceiling in some parts is the walls have crumbled in certain parts. It's very dark down in that direction. And you guys sort of walk and you peek off to the right. Nothing off to your left, just one hallway and another hallway to your right. And you guys make your way to a small room that seems to have a ramp, and it's curling sort of up to the right in sort of spot. It's a pretty big ramp. You can definitely walk the horses up the ramp.
Can we? I keep forgetting. Before we hit the ramp, can I like? It's like a spiraling ramp. So is it spiral kind of staircase, or does it just curl around so we can't see? You know what I'm saying?
It's a spiral ramp going up.
Great. So if you were to stand in the center, you could look straight up.
No, there isn't like a spot in the center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just gonna. Regardless, I want to listen carefully to hear if I hear like steps, creatures.
Give me a stealth check and then a perception check.
Stealth check.
Stealth 18.
Okay.
Okay, and now perception.
Yep.
Nat 20.
Wow.
So to
Which
go
die
up.
is that?
The one that I'm using for the rest of the game.
You get to the ramp and you kind of listen. You sort of motion to the rest of the group and you listen. No noises up from here. Very still, very quiet.
Seems safe.
This brings us to the upper level. This ramp brings us to the upper level.
Let us begin then.
You guys start to make your way up the ramp. Wangami leading the way.
Having stepped sort of ahead to do that, I want to be right behind Wangami.
Sure.
I'll still stay in the back with Saphira.
And you guys get up. And it spirals, it only sort of makes a couple rotations. You get to this upper level, and immediately as you sort of ascend from this ramp, the surroundings, the look of the surrounding changes significantly. The walls are less sort of sharply carved into like neat hallways. It's much more sort of rigid, rugged, and this seems like this is the excavation portion. There's a number of little tendril hallways that go out, and the ceiling is lower at this point. It's kind of like a dome shape instead of sort of a more carved out box shape. So this looks like where they did the bulk of the actual digging. And as you get up, there's a path to your left and a path to your right.
How much closer are we to where you heard the voices and to the exit?
The path is to the left. To the left.
Elaborate.
The left is the direction towards the voices and is also the closest to the exit.
How many chambers will we pass through?
It's 2 chambers in the hallway. And then it's a right towards where the voices are.
2 chambers in a hallway.
2 chambers in a hallway,
It's a curve
then
around.
where you heard the voices.
Yes.
Inside
It's,
these 2 chambers, will we be expecting any company?
300-ish feet. No, we will not be. We shouldn't be expecting any company until there's a branch to the right, where I heard the voices. Obviously, at this point on, we probably want to move stealthily.
All right. Now, when we get to the point where the voices are on the right,
Yes.
if necessary, if we deem them too much of a threat, is it possible to walk by them without disturbing them?
It could be tricky, but I imagine so.
All right.
As in, there's another path, or we can.
But it sounds like we're going to be going down a path, and on the right there will be a chamber that has these voices,
there's
so
an alternate
presumably
path,
one could
yes.
walk by without going into that chamber to begin with.
Possibly.
I don't know where the voice. I can't imagine they're just living in that one space.
That's true.
So some creatures have better hearing than others, I suppose.
Jillian, I recall you saying that the Malafairs are investing in mines. Is this an area where they would be present?
I can't imagine that's the case.
Okay.
It's awfully close to the Black Lions, who are not easy to negotiate with. And on top of that, this mine is supposedly out of commission for a long time.
Correct, but let's imagine that there's some kind of hidden wealth here.
It looks like somebody's been negotiating with them.
Not the Mullifairs.
Could be not the Mullifairs, but somebody likely has been. Why do you think they kidnapped you? Do you think that was their own doing?
And she sort of looks around. Maybe not the time, Safira.
Let us go.
You first, quietly.
Lead on. So which number are you heading towards? Just so I can track?
I will head towards 1.
Okay.
Again, Erland right behind him.
It seems the most rational place at this point.
So you begin to walk.
Yeah.
And the first sort of opening, it sort of walks through this sort of round, narrow tunnel. And it goes on for a little bit and it quickly opens up. And it opens up into this wide area that there's no, unlike downstairs where there were the remains of tables, chairs, mirrors, hooks, there are no kind of pieces of furniture or anything like that. And it looks like the walls were in the process of being carved out. This is like a strip mine. They've opened up this space. They identified something that made them think that this might be a place where a vein might be. So they've sort of carved out the walls from here. So instead of like a narrow mine, it sort of opens out and makes a sort of not circular but sort of rounded edged room.
So in this room, is there any?
Thank you.
Is there? I thought there was one more coming. Sorry. In that, people usually sneeze in Paris. Anyways. In this room, is there any evidence of new, either new mining gear or...
Make an investigation check.
Wow.
7.
7. Not that you can see. No. Yeah, I mean, it's very bare. Also, like as far as you can see in any direction, it's not a huge room. There's nothing. There's no axes, no shovels. There's no nothing. I mean, they carved this place out and said there's nothing here, and they moved on to a different spot.
But the carving out seems to be of the old mine, not the. It's tough to tell.
It's hard to tell that. Yeah.
Okay.
Before we get to where the voices are, we will make the decision as to whether we attract their attention. No mistakes.
Understood.
Go.
Fall around to keep going left.
So you take a left there.
I'm going to be within arm's reach of him.
Okay. You guys all continue sort of slowly through, cautiously and carefully.
Like I bend to the right.
You will tell us at which point we should be moving quietly.
Start.
Okay.
Stealth checks for everybody.
This always goes super well. Oh boy. Nat 20?
So
Very
excited,
stealthy.
you 3.
So stealthy you are.
You know, in real life.
18.
Not very stealthy, but very stealthy.
Hella stealthy.
15.
13.
Natural 20.
18.
Oh, guys, 8.
16 for Jillian.
Everyone just punching things.
Before we get too close to the...
To 6 there?
Yeah, to the
Yep.
bandit 6.
Mm-hmm.
I want to stop.
Okay. You guys are moving along slowly. And Erland, sort of in an attempt to try and stay close to Wangami, like within arm's reach, he's tripping over himself a little bit because his legs are longer, so he like takes bigger strides. But it doesn't make a lot of noise, but a little bit of rustling. And you hold your hand up.
I understand. You probably do not trust me.
Yes.
But I could take a form and I could check the room at least to see whether or not it would be safe to sneak by.
Saphira, can you take form with him?
No, I can't because I have to hit
You have to
something
hit
with
a
my
target
arrow.
with
So
it,
no,
yeah.
I can't.
Make a persuasion check. While we're all thinking.
Yeah. I'll leave it to the dice.
Yeah.
11.
Doesn't help.
Ooh.
Oh, damn.
19.
Oh.
Oh, now I'm really nervous.
So he sort of appeals to you, and I mean, the idea is solid. You can see it in Jillian's face that, like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're going to disguise yourself as what?
Yes. A rat. Something innocuous, quiet.
I will not
I will not.
attract their attention. You report back exactly how many, and where, and what.
Yes, I understand.
Can you investigate maybe if they have any weapons or anything on them?
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously. What?
I don't know.
Would I just look at them and they're like, oh,
I don't know.
All right,
You've
all
asked me
right.
before.
All right.
Quiet.
And I think it should be said if you should scurry off through one of the little crevices, a letter will find its way to Calcetra that will ensure that your head will be separated from your body. Do you understand?
I understand it clearly.
I think we can do one better than that, can't we? If you scurry off, we'll be sure to make sure your parents never see the light of day ever again.
Wow. Wow.
All right.
He is the asshole, isn't he?
Just the persuasive one.
Actually.
Wow.
Go.
Go ahead.
I will shift into rat.
Sure. Right. So it takes another animal form.
What? Yeah.
And you see sort of, and you can see the hairs kind of fur on his body, and he shrinks down to size, and his boots kind of become little feet. And shrinks down. He's sort of above an average size rat, but not conspicuous.
Gross.
And I will stealth. And
Great.
I
So you're going into 6.
Going
then?
into
Great.
6 to
Give me a
see.
stealth check with advantage.
Oh boy.
get a spell check with advantage.
Use that insight on us.
You already. Oh yeah, you did already.
What's the spell check? A stealth check.
Stealth check.
Great. 2. I guess I could do it twice. I'm not gonna get much better. 19.
It is not going to get better.
19.
So you scurry into the room. Great. So you see, I mean, you guys are back, and Graven still has the light, and you see the rat moves for a bit, and it exits your sight.
Can you go right? Is there a door?
Nope, there's no door. It's all open.
Oh.
Passes to the passes
Yeah,
to
so
the right.
there's a hall, and then there's off to the left, which he mentioned before, and then he said off to the right is this room that the creatures
I want to go right on the edge of the wall to the right and just be listening carefully.
Make a stealth check. You're gonna go up to the edge.
Oh,
where
it's
the thing is.
we weren't already at the edge.
No, we were down.
Oh, then no.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you for. That's your line, apparently.
You scurry up.
Yeah.
You start to move, and you turn in, And immediately upon turning, there's a human man leaning against a wall, and it looks like he's on some sort of watch, but his eyes are heavy. He's kind of leaning. His eyes are open, but he's kind of fading.
How's he dressed?
And he has a bow on his back, leather armor. No red or black. Doesn't seem to be a black lion. And deeper in, it looks like they've set up a small encampment of some kind. It looks like there's 2 other people, one human, one elven, sitting at a little upturned crate. And they might be playing cards or something. They're sort of looking at the table. They appear to be their weapons aren't on them, but they have weapons nearby. And there might even be a 4th person sort of further, sort of lying on a cot in the back corner. So 4 people that you can see, 3 humans and an elf. Wearing they seem to be sort of travelers, bandits. I mean, they don't have an organized appearance. They're not wearing a synchronized.
Great. I scurry back.
And the group is kind of like
waiting. Is he coming? I do scurry back.
Okay. Great. Shifts back.
At least 3. I think a 4th lying down and asleep on a cot.
Okay.
Armed. Perhaps travelers' ranges could be bandits.
You didn't see
A small encampment. They've obviously set up camp here.
You didn't see any kind of magical...
No.
Okay. Sources? Nothing?
No. Did you see him on watch?
Why? They could be travelers or refugees that have just tried to find shelter.
Oh, so now
it would be hard to get this deep in, which is the question.
This doesn't... Why would the Black Lions be afraid of a basilisk, some fire newts, and some travelers?
He makes a good point, actually.
Basilisks are fearsome, and fire newts in numbers can be difficult. A few humans, that is the strangest thing to me. Don't know why they wouldn't be able to come in and slaughter them.
I have not asked in any way what you 5 are doing on your journey. But it seems like it's not of a nefarious nature, I'll be honest, listening to you.
And?
I am just saying, whatever is going on here might be tied to whatever you're doing. You're clearly going deep into Black Lion territory.
There must be something else other than 4 travelers.
So what, we talk to them?
Tell them that the Black Lions are coming for them?
How close is the first? You said there were 3?
Yeah, it was just like
one right around the corner, and then
one right around the corner, and then 3 deeper in.
Could
maybe more.
Could we conceivably
walk in with our hands in the air?
I was going to suggest.
I don't like that.
Could we conceivably take one prisoner without the other 2 seeing us? Or the other
He's
2
definitely
nearby?
within the sight lines of them. That
Right,
would be quite a heist to grab that guy.
They would see you. You could probably grab one, but then you would be.
It's going to be easier to communicate with them if we don't frighten them first. Obviously, they then have the opportunity to maybe get the first attack if that should be.
I could hold one of them magically.
We could also simply attack them non-lethally. Spare the last.
And what, drag them out of the mines and hope
I'm not going to sit around in the mines and interrogate a bunch of nobodies.
But like, at the very least, one will be on its feet. We don't have to. Hopefully, it's not a long interrogation if they're truly just travelers.
So we knock them all out. That's what you're saying.
Any
Don't
better
we want to
ideas?
ask them questions?
If we knock them all out, we have to wait for them to wake up.
We don't knock out the last one. We hope that by knocking out all the others, they would be intimidated in such a way that they would perhaps lay down their weapons.
To kill us.
Well, then we kill them and proceed as we would normally.
With such callousness, so easily to you, we just killed them.
Wangami, we are blocking the one exit, correct? There's no, with that tunnel still closed, there's no way they could just flee in a different direction, yes?
There are other tunnels that lead out and far.
Okay.
farther.
They could run
I know
away.
the path.
This was just the shortest
This is
route.
the short
Okay.
route.
The
The
other
other route. They could
Understood.
run away. And
Okay.
Look,
they got in here somehow. I don't believe they came in through the way we have come.
if your assessment is correct and they are bandits or travelers and they are lightly armed, then we shouldn't have a problem. I don't see why we need to attack them in the first place. We can probably scare them off by saying the Black Lions are coming.
I like that idea.
All
I
right.
agree with her. And she stabbed me.
As I said,
That is something.
I could
So
hold
we
the
s-
first one
We scare
magically.
them off? I would save that in case anyone actually runs at us.
I agree. I think we should save our energy as we can.
I do believe Erland, though, where of all the things we've encountered, black lions and the numbers that they have and the powers that they have.
Why wouldn't they just come in here?
Exactly.
It's possible the Black Lions are often less organized than you're implying they are. You have to understand that this association with... And she sort of looks... What we think they're up to, that is an anomaly. They don't normally work together in those kind of numbers.
Correct, but they're not creatures that have some
Well,
kind of lust for
creatures
battle,
that
or
normally shy away
They
from
would
violence.
perhaps
what I
rather
mean.
use nefarious leverage over someone like this.
That seems
No,
rather...
it's-
that also seems
That seems rather organized. Kidnapping a family, holding someone ransom, that seems extraordinarily organized.
Extraordinarily organized considering the fact you don't think they could possibly know that we're here. That he is Calcetra's and that you communicated with her.
Possible, but unlikely.
In any case, that doesn't have anything to do with who these people are.
It's not like those people put a basilisk in the mines either.
No.
Alright, so what are we doing?
So we're approaching them with peace and we try to scare them out of the mines?
I think that's the best
With
bet.
information about the Black Lions?
Obviously, if they attack.
Who is the most persuasive among us?
I think a show of force without using it might be the best course of action.
Yeah, yes,
I
but someone ought to sort of be in front and with outstretched arms, or are we trying to threaten them into submission?
What's the scariest thing that you can turn into?
How do you feel about spiders?
How big a spider?
Big spiders.
How big a spider?
Will fit in this hallway.
A horse-sized
Mostly.
spider,
Yes,
perhaps?
pretty much.
That's
something
fairly
that we could
terrifying.
That's...
A horse-sized spider and a Goliath?
What if you ride the spider? That's
Oh,
pretty
no,
scary.
I don't like this idea at all.
You can't ride it.
That would be pretty cool, though.
That's rather terrifying, yes.
Goliath and spider? Do you feel comfortable? Are you okay now, my friend?
And if they run, what do we do?
We've cleared out the mine. We've done what
No,
been
but
asked
we
of
don't.
us.
Is this the last room? Is this the very last room? Because
Before we reach the exit, is this the last one that has
Yes.
anything in it that you
Yes,
know
yes.
of?
well, there's no way they can. We're
No,
saying
they'll
that
run off into other
They can.
tunnels.
There's
There
other
are
ways
other
to go.
tunnels.
They weren't
There are
very
long
far.
I
ways.
mean,
Ways
we
out.
really want them to disperse because if anything, we're not going to be chasing them down.
I can catch one.
and that doesn't give us any information as to who they are, which is the whole point of this in the first place.
Yes,
So
I can
it doesn't
catch
allow
one.
us to talk to them, but it does allow us to go through their things, I suppose.
I might be able to snare one.
It's worth a shot.
I think
Perhaps
if they. Yes.
we're approaching this with a little bit too much suspicion.
They're in a...
I know, I agree, I know, and they're armed, but perhaps we can have a conversation with them. We should at least maybe try.
I
If
think
they
we are going to
disperse
try.
and they scatter them, we're certainly not going to get any information unless we can get information from their things, which is assuming that we will be able to deduce anything. And we might not.
Unbelievably, I agree with Saphira.
So you'd rather just walk by this
Miracles
room
do
and
happen.
leave?
I don't. The course of the ultimate goal of this should not be to scare them away. It should be to
Persuade.
persuade.
Yes.
If we enter the room, is there a way, as a spider, you could block any potential exit? Is there an exit out the back of the room?
There's only one exit from that room on the back side, the back of
Well,
it.
that's good for us.
Oh no, it's actually right around the corner. I take it back.
So if you go
I could
in,
go
presumably you could
immediately
position yourself in a way that they
yourself,
could not
in
get
immediately
up.
And position.
That's
It's on
an
this
excellent-
end of the room.
That's an excellent idea.
Yes, let's isolate
And
them.
then I go in saying, I have
no harm.
Yes, I have information for you that you will want to listen to.
I think we do that.
In case anything happens to me,
Oh.
continue down this path. Just shortly down this path. Keep to the left. That will reach you the ventilation shafts. Just stay to the left.
Keep left.
Just,
Do you mean in case anything happens to you?
I don't know. I would hate to die and have you all die too.
Charming. Shall we see your spider form?
Good luck.
She's very sweet.
Thank you.
Presumably he's done this before. And you go, You see sort of sprouting out the sides of these sort of limbs come out. And he doesn't shrink in size, he actually grows. I mean, it's a big spider.
Erland being like within right next to him.
And the sort of abdomen kind of swells up, and the sort of mandibles come out the front, and the legs come out sprouting out the back.
That is disgusting.
Can you hear us in there?
Oh.
And it kind of like...
All right, well, maybe we'll go at the same exact time, so that my words will accompany your frame.
Make sure he has enough time to get to the exit to block it.
Yes.
Orba's
Right.
gonna pet his thorax before he starts walking away.
It's soft.
I will do
it's
the
a little-
spider equivalent of purring.
Sort of a...
I still have a lit mace.
Yep.
If I were to put it out, it would be super dark
Total
again.
darkness.
Because what I want to do is I want to like kind of get to the point because they did they have a light?
Yeah, they had a lantern at the like in camp, like where they were seated. In the
Like
back.
if I put this out, I could conceivably kind of just walk along this path until I saw where there was a.
It'd be very dim until you got closer, but
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Or you could hold the light behind you. I mean, it would still.
I want to I want to keep it out until I'm ready to speak and like literally do it at the same time.
I can guide you.
Okay, yeah.
Why don't you guys make
Hearing your internal thoughts.
Yeah, what are you rolling?
make stealth checks with advantage? The three of you, as the three of you are going out.
So yeah, doing like I'll leave my horse with I guess one of them, and like doing the thing we did before, with my hands on your back.
With advantage.
I got 14.
4.
Oh, Jesus.
I got you, buddy. 22.
One thing with stealth is if one person fails,
Yeah.
it doesn't. I'm quiet for you. Walk on me.
He leads you forward, and he's doing a pretty good job. The issue is the spider legs. It's big, and it takes up most of this narrow
Kinda
path. So
touching
for
probably-
you to,
By using the wall.
yeah, so for you to walk alongside, you're kind of tripping over the legs a little bit as you try to
Okay.
start to say. You do get up to the edge, and are you guys peeking around the corner?
Yep.
Yep.
So you immediately move around the corner, and the guy that was there.
I'm gonna light the mace bright white and say, "Listen to me, and no harm will come to you."
And he looks in your direction, and he sees the giant spider coming around, and he sort of like shakingly grabs an arrow,
Stop.
and he doesn't shoot.
Stop.
I step in, step to that. Like
Okay,
I'm
to
stepping
block
in,
the other-
stepping.
yeah.
Yeah. Just
He is
stepping.
under my control, and if you listen to me, no harm will come to any of you.
What the fuck?
Put the arrow down.
And by now,
I mean
by
you
the-
no harm.
By now, the other ones have kind of gotten up and out off of the table that they were at.
I'm
And
gonna
they
say it again as loud as I can. No harm will come to you if you listen to me right now.
And a couple of them, they haven't fired, but they're not putting their weapons down.
I don't know who you are. We only wish to travel through here, but the Black Lions want this space for themselves. We have no affiliation with them.
Make a persuasion check.
Erland's hands are up too. He's not like on the quarterstaff.
Persuasion?
Yep.
14.
14.
Okay.
Holds.
I will take a step back away from him. That side of the corridor.
He is with me. Any of the beasts on the lower level are dead due to us.
He sort of lowers a little bit. Who are you?
Travelers.
Travelers in the Shocky Mountains.
Yes.
Unlikely.
We defy the Black Lions.
And he sort of pulls it down.
We hunt them. We know that they want this space.
Black Lions want this space.
I do not know why.
And he sort of looks at his... I might know why. We found out that this mine might have some mithril in it. That it went unnoticed until this point.
Have you found any?
Not yet. We just arrived the other day.
That is impressive.
We're sort of starting to gather men. It's difficult to get people out here. It's dangerous.
Obviously.
You're not here for the same reason.
No, we are only trying to pass through. We hunt the Black Lions in the mountains, but we have heard that people are being... They are sending people here. They are sending bounties on this place. They want it cleared out. They want it for themselves.
We always thought that was a risk. We'll try and get some of it, and then we'll head out.
Be quick about it. Is there anything else in here? We killed a few fire newts and a basilisk. Have you seen anything other than that in here?
There's a dead creature, a boulette, in one of the tunnels.
Boulette.
Make a make a survival check.
Survival?
Yeah. Creatures in the wild.
19.
19. Okay. They are these sort of they almost look like they're dinosaur-esque, or these large burrowing creatures. They have these big jaws, and they kind of can crush rock with their jaws. They can pound through these tunnels. They're found in sort of mountainous regions as they sort of power through. But he said it was dead. He found the body of one.
That's all. You didn't fight off anything else.
No living creatures up here, as far as we know.
Did you come in from the way we came? We're headed out. There's a sealed off portion.
We came up from the lower level.
Okay.
Didn't see any of the things that you said.
Well, you're welcome, Lynn. Let's go about your business if you find anything, but get out of here as quickly as you can.
Well, look, we knew it was a risk when we came here. We're not leaving without setting up a little bit of an operation. If the Black Lines come, so be it.
You will die.
Make an intimidation check.
I will chitter while he's saying this.
Make it with
17.
advantage.
17.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, does that guy's story check out? Does it seem true?
Make an insight check.
I think that's 22.
22. It does. He's being. I mean, again, he doesn't give you a lot of details.
Yeah,
the part about the Mithra.
Just the fact that they came in and they're trying to set up an operation. They didn't know any of it.
It seems like they have some bags and tables and things that they've at least started the beginning stages of trying to set up something.
I guess does it seem like he's withholding information that maybe someone told him to do that? Like, is he withholding information?
Not that you can tell.
Cool.
You will die if you stay here.
Do you have any idea what kind of money that could bring you?
I do. Is it worth your life?
If you knew my life, you might think so, yeah.
You should be gone from here by tomorrow.
Alright. We're not going to be able to get anything in that amount of time. You think they're coming that quickly?
Yes.
We'll start to pack up our things.
Does that seem like he's...
Make an insight.
Oh.
So much insight.
13.
13. As far as you can tell, it seems true. You can already see the disappointment on some of the faces of the men behind them, as well as they sort of, the exasperation. It looks like they'd set stuff off and they're already looking around at now we gotta pick everything up and move it back out. It's dangerous to get out here. I mean, they had presumed that once they were in the mines, they'd be fairly safe in here, but it's treacherous to get to this point. So they've risked a lot already.
Did you leave chests of supplies downstairs?
No.
Pickaxes, shovels.
No.
So the Black Lions have already been here. They're coming, and they're coming soon.
We've been here for a couple of days.
We saw them at the entrance.
Were there any markings on
the Black
shovels?
Lions? Or the
No,
shovels?
the picks and
I
shovels.
have one right here.
Is
Is there anything on it?
There isn't, no.
No.
Black Lions usually mark all of their things.
Then there may be multiple interested parties here. None of them could be good.
Someone else knows about the Mithril. It's getting crowded in here.
I would say try as hard as you can for the next 10, 12 hours and then get out.
If you don't mind me asking, to put my mind at ease, why are you here? If not to get the Mithril?
I said we are traveling through the mines to get to the mountains. We've tracked Black Lions. Ones that have killed friends, family.
All right. So what, you let us go then? We just pack up and leave?
We have no reason to either help or hurt you.
We'll wait for you to pass through, and then we'll go. I don't want to be walking. He sort of peeks, trying to look around the corner. I don't want to be walking into an ambush. So we'll let you pass, and we'll start to go.
Good.
What do you do?
Back out.
Back out. I'll follow back out on you.
Back it up.
And are you? So you're heading back to the group?
Yeah.
And everyone else.
Like, we probably go go.
Yeah. So
back
Jillian,
out, go.
Jillian, Safira, and Orba kind of come up with anticipation a little too.
So I want to make sure that because it's a right angle, right?
So
like getting to where that was.
Yeah. So let me just try and. Yeah. It's sort of like this. So you guys came in, turned the corner. This is the encampment, and you'd have to go out this way to go the other way.
Oh, so we have to kind of come back towards them to leave.
Yeah, just to turn the corner. Like you don't have to go all the way in, but yeah, just turn around the corner.
Erland's just going to take a step back. Still, no hand on the weapon. He's just going to take a step back so he can see everyone. But I still want to keep an eye on the guys.
Yeah, you do so. They seem to at least that one guy. You get the impression that the others couldn't hear the whole conversation, so the other guy's kind of going over and appealing to them a little bit. He's talking to them, and you see the worried looks on their faces.
Can I hear them at all?
No, they're talking. The far end of the room's a decent bit away.
Okay.
Well,
4 men here trying to mine mithril. I told them that the Black Lions are coming and that they will die if they stay. They said they would leave by tomorrow.
Do you believe them?
Yes.
All right, and she sort of looks over to the spider. Does that clear our passage through?
And satisfy your needs.
I bow. It kind of like gets close to the ground.
All right, well, we have to kind of go by them again, so everybody get your things and I'll go out front again.
Get the leads of the horses, start to move.
Shovel and horse.
Hands off your weapons, I think.
Yes, of course, no weapons.
All right.
I will. Yeah.
Are you leading the way there?
I will lead in the way of spider just to go around.
They see the spider come around the corner, and then they see the other people.
As we're walking through their little camp, can I see what they have? Can I see what they got?
It's on the other side of the room, but sure, make a perception check.
Well, because we have to go.
You're just they're like down.
That room.
This is where the camp is up here, and you guys are coming.
Yeah, I just want to see what they have.
Make a perception check.
10 bags of mithril.
10.
A bunch of children.
3 babies. 3 babies and a pile of mithril.
Okay, great. We're gonna steal them.
It's as far as you can tell, standard traveling supplies. You do see a number of sort of sacks and crates. You can't see inside them.
Do they seem about enough for is there only 3 guys there?
There's a 4th person in the back.
There was a 4th.
Yep.
So does it seem like enough for 4 guys or for many?
It seems like there's definitely more supplies than 4 people. You can't tell if that's because there's other people somewhere or if they simply have made multiple trips. That's hard to tell.
Okay.
But it's a decent little cache of supplies. You can't really see what it is, but...
Okay. Don't start any trouble, Erland.
Erland's walking through slowly and everything.
Not our business, as long as they let us through. Mm-hmm. And Jillian walks. Anybody else as you're moving through?
Can I just catch sight of all 4 guys and see if I recognize them?
Yeah, make a perception check.
Daddy?
Did you? 18?
18, you don't recognize anything?
Okay.
No. In fact, the clothing that they're wearing seems of a different region than you've been passing through. Like there's nothing about it that has like a marking on it, but just what you've seen people generally wearing, like in Mukmu and in the south in Ern Chupa. It's a little more rugged. Like the shirts are less tailored. It has sort of a more the reaches of society kind of look. Like it's not as. It doesn't seem professionally tailored or anything like that. They look a little ragged.
Anything I would recognize in my anti-Suyu knowledge?
It maybe looks like people are dressed a little like from the north. Mm-hmm. Like they came from up north, at least to some degree.
Like Navikapura?
There isn't like a Navikapura style, but
it's too new.
Yeah,
leg warmers. These guys are Navikapura.
Green ponytails.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it looks like sort of a different style of clothing from a different region.
Okay.
You guys walk through. You sort of get to the next area. You start to feel a bit of a breeze. And the air kind of fills your lungs a little less stale, a little less musty as the air kind of passes through. And it seems like there's fresh air on the horizon. And you start to walk, and you bend a little to the left, and there's an opening there that seems already open.
Do we notice any halflings?
You don't see anyone there yet.
Okay.
Do we see that dead creature they were talking about? Or was that in a different place?
I don't think he told you where it was, but you do not see the dead creature.
I will shift back to
Dwarf. Back into Dwarf.
This is it.
This is where the gate is. I have led you there.
Where will you go? What? Will you go this way with us or back through the mine?
I imagine he has to report back to Kelsetra and Mukno.
I have numerous people I must report to.
Other than Kelsetra.
See if I can get my parents.
So wait, you were successful in getting them?
I don't know.
To leave?
They said they would leave tomorrow.
Did they say why they were here?
For Mithril.
Oh, I couldn't hear. I wasn't there.
Oh, I thought.
I think he was talking to Jillian, who was with you.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry.
Yes,
I have not
Mithril is
anything.
very...
I have not seen. I've been in and out throughout all of this.
And you've never seen any indication of Mithril whatsoever. Make a deception check.
You are so full of fear.
Sorry. 22.
You son of a bitch.
All right. Well, I don't really care if there's Mithril in there or not.
Not our business.
Okay, well, off we go, I guess, right?
The exit's open. I assume that Beezaura and Cinnaberg have stationed themselves somewhere where they cannot be seen. Didn't want to be out in the open, I imagine. Let's take it slow and see if we can find them.
I wish you good luck in your endeavors. And I turn to a rat and scurry back. Scurry back into the mines.
As you run...
Can I try and grab the tail?
Make a dexterity.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just a straight dexterity.
Not one.
You go to grab it, and he's fast, and he's...
Orba also just wanted to cast Thaumaturgy to do a slight rumble as he runs.
Sure.
Like a playful rumble.
Yeah, the terrain kind of... And he bumps to the side a little bit and tears off. And the rumbling makes like a little bit of a sound. You can hear the men in the other rooms go, what was that? I don't know. And you hear a little...
Good riddance.
It occurs to me that the pickaxes we found may have been his.
Yes, absolutely.
What would he be doing looking for Mithril? Like, what was
He's a dwarf.
He's a dwarf.
Well, he said so
Mithril
himself.
is incredibly rare and valuable.
So what? He thinks that he's going to be able to sneak into the mines and continue to steal from the Black Lions?
No,
I would hope that he gets his parents back first.
I would hazard that his parents are not kidnapped at all and he just wants a bunch of Mithril.
Well, I hope he uses it in good health.
Well, a rich dwarf is not my concern at the moment.
Yep. Can we get out of here?
But perhaps report that to Kelsetra when you get an opportunity.
Really
see
is
if it's
the
worth
rat
mentioning.
fuck of Kira living up to his namesake.
I'm sorry, you stabbed him with an arrow.
Oh, for fuck's sake, you don't need to get him killed.
Let's go. You guys start to move. And the opening of the sort of ventilation gets closer and closer, and the light starts to pour in a little bit, and that's where we're gonna end.
Oh my god! So, what was
Thank you so much for joining us.
Push it just a little too hard at the end.
Do you want to reveal? That's
I mean, I think once you asked for a deception check, it was pretty clear.
yes,
But no, because you might come back.
Yeah. We have
to get out of here.
I think some people had a pretty good read on what was going on.
Yeah.
I think there were some pretty good guesses of what.
We're gonna have to leave the Shanaki Mountains, and he's gonna have like a full-blown shop set up.
Or he will just have his head on a stick.
I will say during the conversation with the guys in the room, I was so tempted to
attack them.
No,
What?
I will say he is thinking, oh, it would be nice if everyone in this room could not tell anybody anything.
Oh my god.
I was running through my head like, who could I get to do my bidding now
Oh my
to get rid of this problem?
You're just your little murderer.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all for joining us to watch.
Thank you. Skellen Grimer gave us bits, and Carmine Turtle gave us bits.
Yeah.
And we were hosted. It's a good night.
And
Nice.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys so much
Yeah.
for joining us as always. We'll be back next week. We'll have Beezaura will be back. And Chris, thank you again.
Yes,
So much.
Any shout outs that you want to give?
Paul, if you're watching, I know you're not, but congratulations. Or not congratulations. I guess I'll say this will be funny. One of you guys. Nicole and I got engaged on Friday. Super fun. Just told on Twitch.
Yeah,
a lot of my friends don't know, so.
Roll a deception check.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's hard to kill.
Now you have to go home and actually.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yay, Chris.
Awesome. Congratulations. Have a good night, everyone.
Hey.
Join us next week. We'll be back in the Shocky Mountains. We'll see what happens. Join us then. Good night.
you.